Welcome to the Lakers Fast Break Nightcap. This time I have a nightcap for the nightcap. I know I haven't had one in a while. So, salute to everyone. This is for Jeremy. Jeremy was begging me for a gentleman's jack. And this is the gentleman's jack for Jeremy and for you all. We're going to have a fantastic evening tonight. I hope you will join me. And we are going to get in depth on not only yesterday's game, but also future games, especially the one coming Tuesday, which will be very interesting considering it is the Dallas Mavericks. So again, salute to everyone. This is the start. Start your engines. Smooth. So we've had a day to marinate on the fantastic game. I would say probably the best game of the year, without a doubt, even better than the Celtic win, which is always a weird connection when you talk Celtics Lakers. You're on mute, Gerald. I can't hear you.
Okay, they're both right there for me, Joe. They're both right there.
Well, I think this was, and you'll like this correlation. This may be the crossing of the threshold. Remember the scene in A New Hope when Obi-Wan, Luke, and the crowd go to the cantina. That's in mythology. That's the crossing of the threshold, and you're not in It's like you're not in Kansas anymore. Threshold. This was kind of similar to that, but in a way where the Lakers kind of introduced themselves to the elite, which I consider Denver the elite because they do have the MVP who's likely going to be MVP again. That there's a new sheriff in town, and the old sheriff is going to work very well with the new sheriff.
Well, I'm just going to say this. I would favor the Denver win simply because it justifies everything. Everything you and I have been saying now for 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. Every single little bitty thing about how this team could come together and at their peak, what it looks like with LeBron and Luka. And when we say that this team in a 7-game series has a chance against anyone, you just have to check last night out to understand why.
Yeah, it was the reason why it was so nice is you not only went to a place where traditionally, historically, you don't play well. You didn't really have a lot of rest. It was just a day rest going over there, right? And you didn't play particularly well the last few games, even though you did win in Portland, and we saw that debacle against Charlotte. I think what made it so good, and we're gonna have a little clip here. We're gonna show you shortly on the post locker room environment led by JJ Redick and his speech to the crowd, to the team, is that the Lakers went into this game with its full team. Like as it's constructed, no one was injured. Everyone was available. Everyone was there to do their job. And they went into a hostile environment that had been beating them up pretty well for the last few years. And they reverse Uno'd them to the point where this game was somewhat close when they came back at the beginning of the third, meaning Denver. But within a few minutes, it went right back into the high singles in terms of a deficit. And it just never really was a close game. There never was really a sense in this game where Denver was going to take control. That might have been one of those small little windows that you might have thought that, but because it was such a quick turnaround, it never really settled in. So as soon as they took it down to 1, the Lakers, I believe, took it back to 9 within a few minutes. And then at that point, you just kind of felt it doesn't look like Denver is really figuring out what this team is doing them tonight. And you can't stop LeBron. You can't stop LeBron when he's going to the basket. You can't stop LeBron when he doesn't make mistakes. If LeBron doesn't make mistakes and he's getting to the basket at will, you're not going to do anything. And then on top of that, you got to deal with Luka finally coming to his own here after a few weeks, with the Lakers and absolutely dropping dimes left and right and shots. Yeah, you're not going to really do much. Oh, and by the way, he had 4 steals too. And I wanted to discuss a little bit more about how the Lakers were so effective last night. I got a chance to look at some footage. I got a chance to look at the game a little bit more now that I kind of was able to focus on the intricacies of what was going on versus just following the ball and following the score, talking to everybody while we were watching the game. And the way the Lakers played Jokic was actually a master class in how to avoid the Jokic issue. The way they fronted him, the way they would switch on to him. It didn't matter who it was. It was either Rui, you saw Gabe Vincent sometimes, you saw Reeves sometimes, you saw LeBron sometimes. This was a defense by committee. This was as team-oriented defense as you could ever see. And if there was a playbook on how to guard Jokic, last night's game was the playbook. And they did a phenomenal job. And JJ Redick put a masterful, absolute masterful game plan, probably one of the best game plans I've seen in a while. And they executed it. They executed it to a T. And when you see that kind of communication and you see that kind of astute focus coming from coach to player, and then also executing, not only executing, but also executing on the road when typically role players, quote unquote, typically don't play well on the road. It's usually the stars you got to rely on. Well, the reason why this was a dominant win was the role players came to play. The role players did their job. And of course, the stars shined even brighter from that. So, you know, it's just there's a lot of hype that's begun from last night's game. And rightfully so. Rightfully so, because I don't see any reason why they can't continue this barring any major injury. If this is how they're going to focus, which I believe they will, then you're going to see some things that we weren't expecting this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Jeff, welcome to the Nightcap. I know you've had a few Nightcaps tonight, so in honor of that and the crowd, I'm having my own Nightcap, and I might even have my own night shots. If you call it right. Crowd, people, chat room.
Where's Intel when you need them?
Somebody call Intel, man. Tell them hurry up. We need those super chats, and I got a nice little handle of some good rum. So, and this is a pretty good size, about half. Yeah. And y'all know I can shotgun them with the best.
You notice how much has already been drunk from that?
Well, look, it's just, you know, sometimes, you know, Saturday nights, you're hanging out with your boys, you know, and the thing is, guys, I get up sometimes, you know, in the morning, I go do my thing, and then all of a sudden it's 11:30 on a Saturday, let's say. And I did that today. I actually did that today, where I got up, went to work, which is where my warehouse office is. And I had some people that were requesting some stuff, and I went and did some work there, came back home. And then turned out that things got, you know, changed schedule-wise. And then all of a sudden I got another call, just so happened needed what I had already prepared for. And then I'm at home. I'm like, yeah, come by the house, pick it up, made some money. And all of a sudden I'm hanging out with my boy next door and we start drinking. We weren't planning it. I didn't call him and say, hey, so do we want to have a drink at 8:01 a.m. or p.m. or whatever? Like, dude, life is about being in the moment.
That's damn near me every day. That's
see,
like I do have that bottle on a Tuesday, like Taco Tuesday. Just right.
See, we see what I'm saying, Jeff. You see what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, I put in a. I got extremely hydrated today for sure. So hydrated today for sure.
I gotta clap for that one. Cheers to that.
Locations today, man. I was out and about, man. The world tour of hydration today, man. I'm still celebrating the Dodgers championship. I drink every chance I can. So,
well, the Dodgers. I'm going to say this, by the way, before I talk about the Dodgers, real quick about today's game. Jesus, have we? Is the quota of pitchers get hit in the face done for the year? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, there should be.
Like I couldn't believe it. I was fast forwarding, And I went, sometimes when you're fast forwarding the DVR, I went too far, and all of a sudden I see, oh shit, did somebody hit the face again? So I rewound it, and I was like, what the hell is what?
You know what it is? It's funny. I will real quick. It's timing. It's very rare that a ball gets shot straight up the middle like that in baseball, and usually you see a lot fouled back. The pitchers are ahead of it. Hitters are a little too early in the box, and what happens is they're getting on the ball quicker, and it's going straight up the middle. That will come down as spring training progresses. But you're absolutely right. Holy shit! Like it's yeah. You go months without seeing this during a season. We've seen it twice already this week, right? It's just timing in spring training. It happens way more in spring training than it does in the season.
Well, I don't blame them for not being able to see the ball, maybe, because I haven't been able to see the ball at all in the last 4 games. I'm blind, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, maybe if I get closer to the TV, I can't see shit. This is the brightest. It's the brightest field I've ever seen in my life. And I remember there was a pop up. It was bases loaded, and there was a hit towards right. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Pajes. Jeez, I can't even. I'm already jacked up. Pajes.
He said Pajes. Pajes the sailor, man.
see, I hang around a lot of Mexicans, so that's probably where it came from. But anyways, he had a pop up to right, and I thought it was a base hit, and it was caught. I didn't know where the hell the ball was. They props to Zaire, by the way. Hope he had a good game tonight or today. And those who don't know what the hell we're talking about, you're on a Lakers show. We're talking about spring training for the Dodgers, and I made a pact with myself that I am going to watch every single Dodger game this year, including spring training. As a matter of fact, I'm waiting for the green light from my guy Jeff now to see when we're going to be able to meet in Saddle.
Not Saddle. We're not going to Saddle Ranch, Joe.
Sorry, I've been saying Saddleback for freaking 3 weeks. It keeps popping out. Camelback in AZ. 5 minutes from my family's home. So my cousins and my aunts and my uncles, and we're gonna be there. And Jeff, we're gonna probably have to do a show there if you make it over there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna do a show out there and
hydration. Definitely hydrate. It's a desert. You got to hydrate, man.
So, Gerald, you're gonna come hang out with us and with your water. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I'll try to do so.
What is that? Desana? What is that?
No, that's
Kirkland. Oh, Kirkland. So I know that you get that from Costco. Yeah, we know it's Costco.
Took him as a Costco over Sam's Club day. I did.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Where they fight for the eggs. That's where they fight for the eggs. You want to brawl for some eggs? Go to Costco. Xbox has got something in there for you, Joe, on the super chat.
So Xbox, my guy, Money Mark. I always want to say Mark Callis, which is the real name of. Well, his real name is Calloway, but that's the Undertaker. So Mean Mark Callis was a character when the guy that plays the Undertaker, Mark Calloway. He used to have a character in WCW. The first time I think he was in WCW when they were, I think, still the NWA. His name was Mean Mark Callis, and I always thought that was a great name.
It was 1989, 1990, right there.
And of course, years later, he became the Undertaker, and back then things were so secret in that world. You didn't know what you were looking at, but you sort of didn't. You sort of knew. You remember Smash from Demolition, Gerald? Remember when he became the Repo Man? I'm like, what the fuck is Smash doing with that man?
Darsow has had
He's a good guy too. He's a really nice guy.
He is. I'm told he is really nice, but he's had a few gimmicks over the course. He's just never one gets over by himself. He needs a gimmick to get over.
Well, good for him. He had a great career. They should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way. Demolition need to be in the Hall of Fame.
Be announced pretty soon.
Good. That's way long overdue. So where's Mark's comment? I got to read it again.
Oh, well, let me go ahead and get it.
Bring it back.
I'll bring it back. Hold on.
Bring it back. I don't care where you get it from. Bring it back.
There it is.
This might be enough for half a shot. This content has meant a lot to me for a long time. Love a Nightcap. All right. Because you said it, Mark, it's time for a shot. But I'm not going to give you a half shot. I don't do half measures. Okay. I do full measures.
Joe's going to fall asleep in the head.
Oh, yeah. This is good. Oh, yeah. Sunday night, baby. Sunday night. Oh, you poor bastards! I got to get up in the morning just so you guys can see. See, it's full. See, I ain't no fake. I ain't no fake. I'm a lot of things, but I ain't a fake. That's one thing you can guarantee. So, to you, Mark, I know it's sunny. See, I'm already feeling it, guys. It's sunny over there. I know you got the honeys at the beach. Salute to the honeys. Salute to the beach. Salute to my man, Money Mark, and Jeff, and Gerald's water. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys like I did? All right, let's get back to business. All right. So, Jeff, right before you got in, we were talking about JJ Redick's. I mean, it's basically JJ Redick's game of the year, not only for the team, obviously, but his insertion in the coach of the year discussion now.
Yep.
And I wanted to play because I saw glimpses of it. I think one of you, Gerald, I think one of our guys, I think it might have been Nick, posted it, but I was driving at the time, so I didn't get a chance to see it. So I finally saw it about 30 minutes ago. And I don't know if you saw it, Jeff, but it's probably one of the best locker room speeches I've seen in a while. Check this out.
Is it this one?
Yes, that's it.
Let's get a shot.
This morning we talked about going to war. Be willing to die on the court. All right, I was so amped today. I should have been able to take a nap. I couldn't sleep last night. I was up till 5 a.m. I couldn't even nap today. Pre-game, I'm laying on the floor doing my breathing exercise. I'm envisioning what our team is going to play like. And you guys went even higher. You went even higher. And frankly, our conviction and our belief in the game plan, the bench was great. Everybody contributed. Luka, it's good to have you back. Yes, sir. It's good to have you back. First team all defense. First team all defense. Rui, Vando, Doe, Bron, all you guys that were primarily, you were on 3 possessions, whatever. Everybody that was on Jokic was awesome tonight. That was great. Last thing. Talk all season long about our belief and our conviction, okay? Hope that was fun. If we play that hard for the rest of the regular season, we're going to be just fine. That should build your belief. It built my belief in what we can accomplish, all right? It was awesome. Let's go.
Together on 3, man. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
What does Denzel do in training day? How does he clap?
The James Worthy clap right there.
Denzel and the Worthy clap, yeah.
That's the Worthy clap is just one singular thing, but Denzel does that side thing and overextensuates his happiness.
You want to go to jail? You want to go home?
By the way, that was ad-libbed. He pulled that out. That wasn't in the script. So props to Denzel. He earned that Oscar because he made that character in the zone. Lonzo. That is, if Denzel Washington was a bad guy in real life, that's probably who he'd be. So, and that's where he's best. By the way, they've made him a good guy in most of the movies, but he's better as a bad guy. But Jeff, did you see this before just now? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, so tell me what you think. Tell me what was going through your mind. Now, usually when I hear the war words in a sporting event, I usually kind of get turned off. But this is one of the few times it didn't turn me off.
Yeah, because they won a war. So let me tell you something. Like, for those who watch my channel, know I talk about coach. I coached AAU for 10 years. I coached basketball for 12 years. Okay, I've given endless pregame, endless halftime, endless postgame speeches. I can always tell when a guy has something prepared before or when he wings it. And immediately when I saw that speech in the locker room, that was straight from the heart, off the top, and just spoke to his team because he believes now. And it was just him kind of overflowing with pride, feeling some type of accomplishment. And it's oddly enough, I posted a video earlier on a short on my page talking about giving this staff and JJ Redick their flowers. And the reason I said that is because what JJ did in that game, he's done all season. It's just the team has the pieces, guys are healthy, everything's going. But what JJ did there, I often use the word connected with the team because I believe that that's almost one of the most important words you can have between a team and a coaching staff is connected. This team is connected. I can't remember the last time a Laker team was connected. Maybe 2020 or 2021. That's the gear I'm wearing today, the 2021 edition stuff, right? That's probably the last time I remember the Lakers being connected. This team is absolutely connected. And I can tell you one thing. The difference between a car salesman that sells cars and a car salesman that doesn't sell cars is one talks and sells. JJ is talking to the team and he's selling results. Joe's in the results business, so is JJ. All right. The difference between Darvin Ham got in there and talked a big game, but he couldn't back it up. JJ talked a humongous game and he's backing it up. So that what you saw in the locker room was just an overflow of the realization, and this is big. I don't think a lot of people understand this. The realization that JJ is feeling right now is his team has bought into him. They fuck with him. You know what I mean? Like they bought into him. Everything that he's asking them to do, they're doing. Anything he's switching on, they're doing. His strategy, they're doing. They believe in it. And he's a rookie head coach, just like Darvin was. But he has an incredible staff, which Darvin did not. And it's paying off. And JJ deserves a ton of credit there. JJ is fiery. He's competitive. He talks shit. He backs it up. And he's not going to take shit from nobody out there, including his own team, including the other team, including the refs, including the press. No one. And that's exactly what the Lakers needed in that spot. And they gave him 2 chairs down, one and then the second one with Nate McMillan and Scott Brooks. They gave him reliable assistance down there, man. And JJ, that moment when he's giving that speech, because I absolutely know what that feels like. When a team believes in you and they've bought into you, that's what it sounds like. That's exactly what it sounds like. And he was excited because he went in there knowing that he was going to win. He went in there believing his scheme was good enough. He went in there knowing that this version of the Lakers was good enough to change the narrative against Denver. He knew going in there that he could outcoach Coach Malone, who's an NBA champion. He knew it. And then when he achieved it, he got overwhelmed with satisfaction because the plan came to fruition. And that's why he couldn't sleep. And guess what? Now Mike Malone can't sleep because the Lakers are coming for Denver this year, and we're going to get him. We're going to get him.
Nice. Button. That was a good button on that discussion. Money. Gerald.
Yes, sir.
Take a shot of your water.
Chris, I see you, brother. Love you, man.
Tell me what you think about this. Now, everybody's feeling pretty happy. They're surfing on their JJ Redick boards right now. They're all up in their feels. But for those of us, and I wasn't necessarily a doubter, I was just kind of indifferent before the season. But those who had a reason to wonder, JJ kind of put it on himself by certain comments that he said. Didn't have anything to do with the coaching side, but it maybe had something to do with his interpretation of things.
You did not like the plumber's comment.
No, I did not. And I did not like that he said that the 90s were watered down. I thought that was cheap. I thought that was a cheap shot after a even bigger cheap shot. However, we can't be all up in our feels all day, every day. Otherwise, we wouldn't be who we are, right? So right now, it doesn't matter anymore. Right now, he got the job, and he's doing the job, and he's getting better at the job. So what is going to happen next? Are the Lakers going to lose Tuesday, and then all of a sudden the whole world is going to collapse again? Because we're a very in the moment type society now. You win one game, all of a sudden you're the greatest thing in the world. But if they lose on Tuesday, are the bags going to come out again? Oh my God, this team isn't good enough, and all that horse shit.
You know it will.
Right?
You know from our audience it will. A lot of those people that were silent, didn't say much, only put in, oh, it's just one game, or those that didn't show up at all. And you know who you are. You know who you are out there. And then we get comments after the show. Oh, you guys are horrible for saying stuff like that. Oh, you're very vindictive. Oh, no. It's like, Huh. Okay.
Does it hurt your feelings, Gerald?
Doesn't hurt mine, but obviously theirs are hurt
Okay.
because we're right and we were right all along and they weren't.
Can we
That's what-
inspire our patrons, the longer they watch this show, into being as steely as we are?
Well, we've been right as a
I'm here
collective
to make
group.
Jeff laugh for the entire time, guys. So just be ready. This is going to be
That
coming
mood
left
lighting
and
will
right.
get it started. That mood lighting brings him down, first of all.
Right. By the way, that hat is sick to the sickest.
There.
I barely break this one out, man. I barely do.
Like that short you had, just because I kept looking at the hat. It's like I stopped paying attention to what you were saying after the third time.
The amount of DMs I got about this
That looks
hat
good.
tonight. Yeah, the amount of DMs I got for this hat tonight. My hat game is strong. My hat game is strong, man. I've got, I think, over 80 hats. Like my hat game and sneaker game, both equally strong. And this is one I don't wear too often. I usually wear this hat after a good win. And it's weird because it's not like, it just, I don't know. It was warm out today, 80 degrees in LA in February. I was like, I'm wearing the blue. I'm going with the blue today. So yeah, I rarely wear this hat, but oddly enough, it's borderline Denver Nuggets colors, right? So like,
No,
today.
no, it's not.
But
if anything, sorry, Gerald, close your ears. It's more of a UCLA color.
true. Yeah.
But the blue and the best Laker
One
logo.
powder blue Lakers uniform. I don't mind that one. That one's really
I love that one. My favorite Laker one of all time is the blue. Is the one they wore. What year was that? 2021. Again, the blue with the Los Angeles across. That's my favorite alternate, other than the Mamba. Is the blue, the Jerry West blue one. That one. That is so cold, man. That jersey is that one. So when 2021 went back to that, I bought everything: the hoodies, the warm ups, the hats, the shirts. Like I've got so much 2021 gear because when they went to that, it was also they went to it 96. Kobe's rookie year. They also went to it in 2004. And I think 2008 ish was it somewhere around there. But every time they go back to that blue Los Angeles one, I buy everything they got for sale that matches that colorway.
It's a great color. It kind of merges the two. It's the history of the light blue versus with the modern day Laker logo. That is, in my opinion, one of the best logos in sports.
Yep.
It's so recognizable and it's simple. Sean has a Laker hat that has that logo, but it's bigger, and I always like looking at that hat. I have hats, but I don't tend to like to wear hats a lot because I get itchy.
Yeah.
After a while, I do wear them work wise. Sometimes I'll wear my Sin Blades hats, or obviously I'll wear my LA Dodger hat here and there. But more often than not, I'm just most of the things I do require me to break into a sweat, and I don't want to get them messed up either. I rarely sit down and wear hats somewhere where I'm not sweating like crazy. It's all, I'm always moving. That's why I always wear black too. I wear black because if I didn't, I'd be brown at the end of the day, no matter what I wear.
Yeah, I got a lot of black clothing too, and oddly enough, I don't wear hats as often as I do. And even my first year of content creation, I didn't wear them a lot. But I find like I got all these hats, man. I didn't wear them. You know what I mean?
Well, props to Nike. I'm finally starting to get more Kobe logo shirts. There was a dead time for about a decade. I don't know what the fuck they were doing, but it's like, dude, I'll buy this shit. Can you put it up somewhere? I bought this twice just in case. I was like, give me two of them. And I actually do that anyways, because what I'll end up doing is I'll wear something all the time, not worry about, I'm messing it up. And then the other one will be the one I'll wear when I know I'm going like somewhere and I have a jacket and it's all good and I don't have to worry about it getting messed up. So yeah, looking good. I just watched a football. I'll get to that in a second here, G. I just watched A Football Life with Jerry Rice, and to me, he's the greatest football player I've ever seen. And one of the things he would always say is, you gotta look the part. And I think one of the reasons why I like Jeff, and Jeff doesn't know this, is the first time he's going to hear this, is I like his color coordination with things. Like when he's talking Lakers, he's got the gear, he's got the hat, he's got the lights. When we all talk about being observant and how you judge things, that right there is a big thing for me. Like that is very obvious that I can pretty much scope out who you are, but when I see shit like that. And yeah, Yeah. When
I
you
appreciate
look
that
good,
because that's exactly my target. That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
about to look, when you want to look good, and then perform, that's salute to that. That's how you're supposed to do it. So, what do we got here? We got Chris, the art director. Joe, another shot. Lakers versus Celtics in the finals, and Luka becomes a legend by winning. Love the Lakers, Minneapolis. Yes, sir. I will do a shot
There we
for
go.
that.
Why he pours that? That's my brother right there. Chris is my certified brother. I love Chris. For those that don't know, I have one of the best logos there is on YouTube. I got no problem. Like I'm a humble guy, but I got one of the best logos there is around. Chris created that. Chris, the art director, is an art director. We created that. Me and Chris created that logo in about 6 minutes of an idea to creation. And while Joe's doing that shot, I just want to give my flowers to Chris. He created that logo in like 6 minutes. I said I wanted a logo, wanted a fresh what I wanted. I said I wanted something vintage. Give me something like the NBA on NBC with like a reporter or something. And he just bam. And that's how the Empire Jeff TV logo was born because of the graphic god, Chris, the art director, man. So shout out to Chris, man.
Well, Chris, we're gonna have to talk now.
He's the best, man. He's the best.
We're gonna be coming up on Dodger shows here soon, and we're gonna be opening up what will likely be a non-trademark copyright issued name on my show, and I will probably need a logo. So, Chris, I will be contacting you if this is how it's going to be. If this is how everybody's going to do their business, I guess we all got to just keep feeding the beast. So, props to Chris for the logo. I like the color coordination. Obviously, I'm assuming, Jeff, that was you. These are the type of things that make a difference. That's production value. And Gerald, props to yesterday's show. By the way, that little line that you wrote, haters. I think that the word haters got the people coming to the show. We signed off last night at 1,100 views. We're over 2,000 now.
Nice.
So people started clicking in after, and we didn't get a lot of comments either, which means people enjoyed the show. We were talking some good shit last night. I was actually pretty impressed that Sean has a good habit of throwing some back at me, and Gerald was doing his maestro work. So, and that's what we do here. That's what we do here. This is a show that we cannot have in any way be the same as the other shows. And I'm not.
But one of the comments was, "We're horrible, Joe. We're horrible."
Who
you
said
guys
we're
are
horrible?
mean. One of the commenters after the show said we're horrible because we went after people for being Luka haters. So we called.
I'm still in bewilderment on how anyone who calls himself a basketball fan would be upset with that trade if you're a Laker follower.
Mm-hmm.
If you're upset about that trade and you're not a Laker fan or a Dallas fan, the only people, this is back again to the decision scenario. If you're not a Cleveland Cavs fan, why are you pissed off at LeBron? Forward to now. If you're not a Mavericks fan, why are you pissed about this trade? Forget about yesterday. Fuck yesterday. Have you guys not been watching the last 7 years? We were speechless. I was mute. I'm never mute. Never. I couldn't talk. Sean was shitting on me for an hour. I didn't have a response. My brain didn't compute. I didn't know. I just sat there like dead. What
happened?
You think that shit happens every day? You think that happens while I'm at home or I'm on the road? No, that shit never happens. That shit's rare. Something really has to happen. And usually it's something bad. It's usually somebody passed away or something fucked up. This was positive. The most positive fuck up in my brain that I can remember since Pau Gasol, the Pau Gasol trade. And even then I wasn't that fucked up. I was excited. This fucked me up, man. And that should be enough. That should be enough for y'all. Really, honestly. If you watch the show, that should have been enough. And I guess we can be one of those guys that sit there and yap about how, hey, we told you. Well, there's a lot of shit we told you this last 6 months, and half of it's been wrong. I mean, we look like fucking chumps. I'd looked like a chump the last 6 months. So I don't know. What do you think, Jeff? I mean, you've listened to me for the last 6 months. Was I overboard, or was it just the fact that this happened and we had no idea that anything like this was possible?
I mean, no, I think the only people that don't like this trade are people that don't want to admit that they were wrong, that the Lakers could have a season that ends different than what they want. They're dying on a hill, right? I was very low on the Lakers. I got no problem saying it. I damn near stopped content creation on it because it was so hard to be excited about it. So I have no problem saying, I've heard you say numerous times you want to be wrong. I'm like that same guy. If I say something and I don't believe in the team and I hate where it's going, I want to be wrong because I want my team to do well. I would rather be wrong 100 out of 100 and the Lakers win than me be right 100 out of 100 and the Lakers lose. Point blank, period. You know what I mean? But there's some people who have to be right. They have to be right. They have to be smarter than everyone. They have to be the one that knows what they're talking about. They can't be wrong. Those guys often lose. And so when you got guys who are just convinced the Lakers are that Rob is terrible, that JJ was the horrible hire, that Braun all this, the second they got Luka, at the end of the day, their whole narrative, the stance they're taking has changed as far as the perspective of everyone else who's covering the league, watching the league, but they're still there. They're not willing to get off that hill. They're dying on that hill. So when that happens, you have people, again, when people have to be right, you have to be away from them. All right. Because those type of people are the worst. They're more worried about being right than being right. You get what I'm saying? And when that comes down to it, I don't give two shits if I'm wrong. I don't care. I say how I feel. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care. There's some people who cannot stomach the fact that they're wrong. And because people were dying on the hill that Rob Pelinka was the worst GM in the league. People were dying on the hill that JJ was a horrible hire. People were dying on the hill that Braun was cooked. People were dying on the hill that all this stuff, the Lakers had no trade assets. They had nothing that nobody wanted. Gabe Vincent was done. Max Christie was done. All this was done. They're all wrong. All right. Now, at the end of the day, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So you may not have liked Max. You may not have liked Gabe. You may not have liked Rob. You may not like this. All that in the third. But Nico Harrison liked Rob. It worked. Dallas Mavericks liked Max. It worked. They loved AD. It worked. So at the end of the day, your perception may be what you see. But you are wrong to say you speak for everyone else. Because all these players that nobody wanted, another franchise wanted all of them. And here we are. So you want to die on that hill? Die on that hill. I'd rather be wrong 100 times and the Lakers win than be right 100 times and the Lakers lose. And that's it. And that's where these people are with that. They can't stomach the fact that their take was wrong. Their hot takes are wrong. Move on. You were wrong. It happens. We're all wrong. We're all right and we're all wrong. We get things right. We get things wrong. Point blank, period. We just out here talking sports from the couch. That's what it is. Move on.
The couch surfers, is that who you're indicating there, Jeff?
Yeah. They're just dying on the hill. They're dying on the hill. They
What
have
if
to
you're on
be
a
right.
lazy boy, though?
Oh, lazy boys are nice.
I'm usually on a lazy boy.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Because I got to get up. If I go on the couch, I'm laying down. I got to get up sometimes. And I'm like,
lazy boys are nice. So sometimes I can lose half a day on a lazy boy, bro. Those are one of those other things. It's gonna sound weird, but have you seen that new brand? What's that brand where they come apart? You can make like a couch, 2 chairs, a love sack. Have you seen?
Yes.
It's a weird name, but have you seen the love
I've
sack?
2 of them.
Oh my god, bro!
I got rid of them.
I could fuck around and lose half a day on those.
No. You can't. You can't buy that shit. I purposely bought a separate couch and a lazy boy, right? Because the lazy boy is nice, like I can relax, but there is about a 30-minute like gap, or I'm sorry, a 30-minute like limit where my body's like, all right, I got to get up. When you're the only time I can melt into a couch or a lazy boy is if I got back from the gym and I'm dead.
Yeah.
Right? But if I'm there for a while, I get stiff. Like I get stiff. My body starts to get all stiff. I got to fucking move around.
Bro, if I'm pissed drunk, I can fall asleep on a curb.
That doesn't count.
Well, I mean, bro, you know, I'm never on
one time.
No, but I'm never on a couch like normal people. Never. Like I'm never on a couch like just hanging out, talking to my wife, watching TV. If I'm on a couch, it's like I'm fucked up, and I don't feel like walking to the room. I'm just on the couch. You know what I mean? Like a couch to me is just like a landing spot. I'm rarely on it. Look, I just got a whole new set in the living room. I've sat on it like 3 times. Like I'm telling you, like I'm barely on the couch. Barely. My dog is on the couch more than me. There are his couches. Shout out to Lucky. Where is he? He's on the couch.
Lucky, the king of the house.
yeah, he is the king of the house, king of the block, king of the house, king of the neighborhood. Like, man, but I'm saying, like, but I could lose. Like, I one time I went to, they had those couches at the mall, right? I walk into the mall, man. I just left Yard House. I had, for those who know Yard House, I had like 4 half yards. I was halfway to a first down and drinking. All right. Damn. And I walk into and this guy is like, my friend, come sit on this. Like, I go, bro. I sat on that couch. Bro. And when I tell you, this was a Sunday fun day. I damn near slipped, and Joe said melt. I damn near melted into Wednesday on that damn couch, bro. Like, I didn't buy one because, like, I will be non-productive on this thing. I'd be non-productive. I can't go home after drinking and sit on this couch, man. I'll miss work. Like, those things are crazy. Anyways, went a little sideways there, but
no. This is the nightcap. We go sideways, upside, downside, north, south, east, west, northeast. We do it everywhere. We do it all here. Matter of fact, I gotta have another question here to throw at you guys so that I can refill here. I'm already freaking out after what? Only been here 40 minutes? Shit, man, that was the fastest 40 minutes of my life. However, let's get to Axe E. Axe E is new here. Well, congratulations. Thank you for being here. We'll put out an air horn there until I get some better music in here, guys. Axe E says, I have a question. If we face the Warriors, do you think we can beat them in the playoffs? I was waiting for this question. As soon as I saw Golden State went 2 in a row, I knew this stuff was going to start happening. I knew it. So I'm going to start with Gerald on this, and I'll get to Jeff. Gerald, we haven't really talked about the Warriors, but we were pretty positive that they were going to improve with Jimmy, because Jimmy has that when I want to play kind of like a Shaq thing. When I want to play, he plays. So, and they were dead in the water. They needed something, and they got at least something. And they traded away nothing for it. So, what do you see with Golden State? Do you see them? I see them in the play-in for sure, but do you see them possibly sneaking in as a 6?
They're 5-1 right now. They've got all the momentum. We'll see how it works out. I still think that they've got a lot of age. They're an old team now, Joe, because you're counting on 33, 34 Draymond Green, 35 Butler, and 37, 38-ish Curry. Those are your main 3. I understand they're supported by a lot of youth, but man, those are your 3 guys. I mean, it's worked out so far, Joe, and I think it will keep on going for a little while longer. We'll see, but I'd say that they're probably a 7th seed in the making. I still think that they're the top of the play-in for me.
So they will have to win 1 game to get the 7. Now, that could be a beautiful thing. This is why I mentioned this, and you kind of played right into it without even me needing you to, kind of put it out there like that. Jeff, if let's say the Golden State Warriors get the 7th seed and the Lakers get the 2 seed, that's not a bad way to start the playoffs.
It's a great way to start the playoffs. The Lakers just fucking dog walk the Warriors. All right, it'd be over before it started. All right, like if you just look at this right now, just go back. Luka averaged like 28 against Jimmy. Braun slays Jimmy. Like it would be over before it started. 8 Mile Austin Reeves would have cooked Jimmy. All right, I'm telling you right now, Jimmy ain't Jimmy no more, man. He's not Jimmy no more. It's why he's been taking time off. Lakers would beat the Warriors in 5, maybe even sweep them. It'd be a wrap. It'd be over before it started. Arrange the funeral plans. It's done. Done.
One of the great things about having Jeff here, folks, the reason why I like him on the show is Jeff caters to moms and children. He's he's the Hulk Hogan of our group. Back in the day, again, I got to use wrestling terms because my guy G is a wrestling guy. I like to give him some props, and correlating with that, it makes it all kind of work together, right? So, again, and Gerald loves this stuff, so I like to say it like this. So Jeff is Hulk Hogan. He's the drink your milk, vitamins, all that stuff. Even though he still has that.
Oh yeah, he took his vitamins.
Even though he's got that white chocolate in there, still, it's all good. Makes it even better, right? His own little thing. But we're the NWA in the 80s.
NWO.
Well, I'm talking about.
Oh, we're talking about the National Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah, I'm talking about the 80s. I'm not talking about the 90s. I'm talking about the 80s.
Talking about going every Saturday at 6:05 Eastern.
We sell booze and not ladies yet, but we compensate for that because we are married men.
The Horsemen.
For the I guess the explicit language.
Space Mountain references he would always
oldest ride, longest line. Absolutely. And so when you guys have Jeff on the Lakers Fast Break, especially the Nightcap, you get a little bit more of who Jeff is, who really is deep down. See, Jeff keeps things in, doesn't let everything out. And I have known guys like Jeff, guys that I've had 30, 40 years almost 40-year relationships with since I was a kid. Got a lot of friends of mine that do what Jeff does. They're nice, respectful. They say hello to old ladies. They open the doors for people. But if one thing tips that little whatever that is on the dynamite, yeah, it's bad for you. So be careful. Yeah, and that's what we're here for. We're here to cater to so many things. We want to cater to everyone as much as we can and have you all enjoy everyone's personality. I guess I've never been a guy, even when I did my radio gig, I never really liked to do shows by myself. I like people around me. I like to discuss. I like a community. That's why I played team sports most of my life, if not my entire life. I was good at tennis too. I was good at golf, but not to that degree. I was always better in this team sports business because I think that's just kind of how my brain works. But we're having such a good time here. Again, I had no idea we had gone 40 minutes in. I thought we were still like 10 minutes in. So this is pretty amazing. So salute to everybody. I'm on my second drink here. I think I took my second shot, and right now I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not anywhere near the slurring. I think I start slurring at the beginning of the show because I that's usually what happens. Is my first few drinks is what actually gets me going, and then my body goes, okay, I know what you're doing now. We'll kind of take it from here.
Well, while Joe's doing that, I want to ask you guys a question. Is there any team whatsoever in the Western Conference that you would want to avoid in the playoffs? Any team?
OKC.
Really?
OKC. They have
Why?
so many defenders. They have so many defenders that they can throw at you of various sizes, long arms, speed, quickness. They just have so many variables that they have two big guys. Let's presume everybody's healthy on OKC when the Lakers matched up against them. They have more than 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got, I think, 5 capable defenders before you even get to SGA that would focus their attention on Luka and LeBron. That concerns me. And that doesn't even include the big guys like Hartenstein and the rook and the second year kid. So yeah, that's size. That's size right there against us too. So that's something we don't have. And having Hayes go against both those guys, that's a tall task for them as well.
I'm not worried about OKC.
Okay.
I think they're gonna pull a Yankee and piss down their leg. So when it comes to OKC, Houston, Minnesota, could they beat us? Of course. Scared of them? Hell no.
I'm not scared of them, but I said the Lakers can
avoid.
As I've continued to say, if you said one team that stands out is like you try to avoid, I would say it's them. But again, they will make any series competitive. The Lakers, as we saw, if they play like they did on Saturday in a playoff series, they'll be competitive against anyone.
Let me ask you.
Anyone.
Let me ask you. When it comes to OKC, when the Lakers rebound the ball, who the hell's running with them? On OKC side, who's running with them? When they get that ball, if Braun gets the rebound and Luka's gone. If Luka gets the rebound and Braun is gone. If Hayes gets the rebound and Braun is gone. And I want to tell you this right now, and people call me I would not have said this 3 months ago. I probably would not have said this 1 month ago. But we got the better white boy too right now. And I'm telling you, like Reeves, 100 grand right now. I wouldn't have done that 6 months ago. I wouldn't have done it a year ago. Give me A Mile Austin right now. Give me headband, arm sleeve Austin right now. And the more I think about it, you have the biggest code the Lakers had to crack was Denver. And last night does not mean they will beat them in a series. I think they will, but it doesn't take away the last 2 years. It doesn't take away the loss earlier this season. It doesn't take any of that away. Doesn't at all. But the way Austin is playing, the way Luka's going to play, 2 weeks from now, 2.5 weeks from now, Luka's going to be averaging 30 points a game. 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks from now. Put it on your calendar. Put it on your calendar. 2 to 3 weeks from now, Luka's going to be averaging 30 a game. Ron's going to be looking 5 years younger. And the way that Rui, the way that Austin, and the way that Vando, DFS, and these guys can pressure the wings, OKC is going to pull the Yankees. I'm telling you. And just like they did last year against Dallas. And what's going to happen is, who was on that team? So what's going to happen is SGA's the guy over there, MVP, all this and that. We got the better player. We got the better player. We got the guy that beat him last year. That's already in his head. So okay.
So you're not worried with the size that with Holmgren and Harden.
No, because that size can't run. That dude's Pinocchio. The dude runs like Pinocchio. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like. Don't get me wrong. Could they beat us? Of course. I'm not going to be naive here, and I understand where you're coming from. But my point is, there's not a single team I would try to avoid in the West. None. We play who we play. Line them up. That's how I see it. And I think, and on the other side of that, I think every team in the West should feel the same way. I think if I'm OKC, I feel the same way. If I'm Denver, I feel the same way. If I'm the Rockets, I don't think I feel the same way. But all those guys, if you turn the ball over against the Lakers, you're done. If you miss your shots and the Lakers get the rebound, you're done. You're done. The way they're playing right now, the way that their offense goes, the way their defense has been playing. And as great as OKC's defense has been all year, the Lakers' defense is better right now. It's better right now. And without the length, they're better. You know why? OKC is going to try to throw that drop coverage at them. We have the 3 best players in the league at that drop coverage right now. There's not a better 3-headed monster running drop coverage offense in the league right now than the Lakers with Braun, Austin, and Luka. And most of those teams love to live in that drop coverage. Lakers are going. I can't believe I'm saying this because all season I just thought this season was cooked and done. But the way you see what they can do, they can beat any damn body. Anybody. Anybody in the West can beat anybody. A tweaked ankle here, something there, a series is over by all accounts. But I don't think I would dodge. Last year I was saying, hell no, do not get Denver. Anyone but Denver, they get Denver. Done. Now there's no one. There's no one.
And that changed last night.
That changed. It changed when they got Luka, but it just confirmed it last night because we knew we were going to see it. We knew we were going to see it. And when I watch a way a team collectively rebounds, when I watch the way a team takes a ball out of bounds, when I watch the way a team fills a lane, all these things. I said this on my show. The Lakers have become irritants. That's not the Laker way. The Lakers are what Vando was doing to Joker, like kind of like what Dwight was doing in 2020. Not that he's not Dwight like stature wise, but I'm saying like the thing the Lakers are doing now, what Bruce Brown did to D'Lo in the Lakers did that to Denver. The Lakers have irritants. They got the wings now. And everyone kept saying, we need a center, we need a center, we need a center, we need a center. You know why we needed a center? Because we couldn't beat Denver. And now we don't need one to beat them. That was the only reason we needed one. And I see people talking about Dallas in the playoffs, but hey, Lively and AD, if you want to bet the house on all those ligaments living up to the challenge, and you go with it. But last night, Joe, the way that this team can get out in transition, I don't know than the team and the way they're shooting the ball and the way they're defending. I think they'd scare the shit out of OKC. I think they would.
We talked about that a little bit, I think, last show, Gerald, where I would prefer to avoid both Denver and OKC. I want them to play one. And in order to do that, they'd likely need to get the 2 or 3, with Denver getting the 4, and OKC's likely going to finish 1. And then at that point, the Lakers will have favorable matchups in the first round and then a favorable matchup in the second round. I'm not afraid of Memphis. I'm just not. I'm not afraid of Houston. I'm just not. And then they get a chance to play either OKC or Denver in the Western Conference Finals should they win those first 2 rounds. And you made a great point, Jeff, about you kind of knew this when Luka came. Now, that's something we did address. We did talk about that before, way before we even were getting ready to watch Denver. I said, well, this is a problem now for Denver. Denver has to now deal with Luka. And this team doesn't necessarily do well guarding Luka. They don't do well guarding anyone. But that's the worst player to guard. So now what are you going to do? What are you going to do when LeBron plays basketball the way he played yesterday? Folks, I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying this. I'm not exaggerating this. I didn't even hint at this in any way. I said what I said last night on our post game about LeBron last night, but I'm going to tell you this right now. What you saw with LeBron James last night is what an all-time player is, the way he played last night. That right there. And you might be wondering, well, he only had 26 points, this, and that. It had nothing to do with that. The guy played a flawless game. He didn't make even a 1 turnover thing is not even a mistake to me. He didn't make a mistake the whole night to the basket. Focus
Joe, you
on
still
getting.
with us?
Did I get cut out?
I think his internet
Yeah,
cut
you're
out there
cut.
slightly. You're back. You're
Yeah.
back now.
Am I back? Am I back? Sorry.
You're back. Your face is all the way together now. You're back.
Okay, good. So what I was saying is LeBron, the way LeBron played last night, and a lot of it had to do with the fact that the 2 times he sat for an extended amount of time, the Lakers increased the lead. If that happens, folks, you have a very, very difficult task ahead.
And Luka set for the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, and they increased the lead. And the biggest reason, I said this on my show the night they traded for Luka, and I said Denver's no longer a problem. I said it that night, and they backed it up last night. And the reason I said that was because LeBron was the best perimeter player in a series against Denver. Jamal Murray was second. That's not the case anymore. The Lakers have 1 and 2. So LeBron's, if his legs are tired in the fourth, you got Luka. Vice versa. AD was neutralized because he had to try to guard Joker. Didn't have anything to go offensively. Couldn't get his own shot. That's all neutralized now. That's all gone. It's all taken away. They have what it takes, that along with competent coaching. Every advantage that Denver had over the Lakers is gone. There's no KCP. There's no Bruce Brown. All gone. It's all gone.
All gone. And what percentage would you say Luka was at last night?
70.
70. What's going to happen when he's at 100?
Over.
Guys, I'm going to say this again. I'm going to keep saying it. Luka is him. In my book, there's only one guy that's better than Luka right now in the NBA. No disrespect to Shai Gilgeous. No disrespect to Donovan Mitchell. No disrespect to Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, all those guys. Hey, they're all great players. They're all going to go Hall of Fame. But there's only one guy right now that's better than Luka, and that's Jokic. And that's going to be a short stint very, very, very soon. And those of you who have been discussing other things about LeBron versus Luka, guys, this is a team game. We need to stop with the whose team is it. It doesn't fucking matter. Almost every single championship, there's exceptions, but almost every championship in the history of the NBA since 1947-48 has had at least 2 stars on the team. There's few exceptions. You've had Dirk Nowitzki in 2011. You had 2004, which was an even bigger anomaly. To me, there wasn't even any really big stars.
Yeah, the Lakers imploded. That's the only reason that happened.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
The point is, you had Hakeem in 94, 95, but some will say that Clyde Drexler was the second star in 95. I say that he was more like Jason Kidd in 2011 on that team, and Hakeem was just off the freaking chain those 2 years.
Yeah, Hakeem was next level. That stretch. He was.
So this game needs two guys, and the talk already started, and it hurts me to say this. You all know how much I love AD. I still can't stop talking about Game 6 in the finals in 2020 because of that first half. The amount of execution in that half by the team, and especially AD, was it left an impression to me. It left an impression to me where I thought AD was going to win MVPs, an MVP at least. I thought for sure they were going to give him the Defensive Player of the Year the following year because he got fucking jobbed that year. And I'm like, look, I was so excited after that win. I'm like, the Lakers are going to pass the Celtics. We're going to be rocking and rolling and all that stuff. And it didn't happen. Didn't happen for so many reasons. I'm not going to get into them, and I don't give a shit anymore. But right now, the Lakers got what will be the multiple MVP of this league, and he'll be a multiple champion, and he's going to do it in a Laker uniform, and he's going to get all the money he wants, all the endorsement he wants, and Jeannie and Rob and the Lakers organization are going to make sure it happens. And I shit on those people, and I was upset, and I wanted them to die, and I wanted them to be gone, and I was wrong. I wasn't wrong in what my assessment was, but I made it personal, and that was wrong. I wasn't patient enough, but that's my bridge that I always have to cross. This isn't just a Laker thing. This isn't a Genie or a LeBron this is just me being fucked up. I don't have patience. I've never had patience. Everything in my life has come from me being impatient. So it's hard for me to be patient because when I have been patient, nothing fucking happens. So I maybe talked myself into this. Didn't happen like this, but I've talked myself into it. That maybe me and maybe several other people that thought this way maybe put enough fire in Jeannie and Rob's ass to make something like this happen. That's how I talked myself into it. But what probably really happened was that they were, Jeff, you said something like kind of waiting in the wings, right? Like kind of just.
Yeah, they weren't going to save that version of the team. I not only was I saying that forever, but I was also told that they were not going to save the AD Braun Lakers, nor should they have. They weren't going to go and give away all their picks. They weren't going to go spend all their capital on DeJounte Murray. They weren't going to go do all that for all those guys. They weren't ever going to do that. I said this 1,000 times. They weren't going to do it. They weren't going to save that team, but they will save this team. They will put everything into this team, and that's what they will do. The Braun and AD era was over even when they were on the court. It was over. The Lakers were not saving that team. It's why they didn't do anything in the offseason. It's why they didn't do anything last trade deadline. It's because they weren't going to pay the prices that other teams wanted to fix that team. They were not going to do it. They will do it now. Every time a pick becomes available, a player becomes available that they can upgrade for, they will maximize this window of Luka. They will. But they were not going to do that for LeBron and AD anymore. They weren't going to do that because they took that shot with Westbrook, and they told them then, because the Lakers organization was not eyeing that deal. You guys want this? You're going to live with it. We're not bailing you out of it. And they held to that. They stuck to that until they got Luka. And that's exactly what it was. And Rob knew that. Jeannie knew that. They sat back and they said, look, we're going to catch all this heat. We're still selling out. Our merch is still selling. I know that Joe doesn't love the ideal of Bronny, but literally Bronny's jerseys have paid for Braun this year. All right. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, hindsight is 2020. And one thing I've always said about Jeannie, and the one thing I've always said about Rob, is that Rob is not by any stretch of the means a bad GM. I just felt he was a bad president. I felt that there should be someone between Rob and Jeannie. the face of the franchise on the basketball operations side. I've also said that what Jeannie does for the branding of the Lakers, the money making, the brand, not on the court, she's great at. She still is, always has been. It's just their ability to make basketball related decisions that could benefit the on-floor product was lacking something. And it's been lacking since they blew up that team in 2021 to get Westbrook, and they've been digging out of it ever since, and now they made it all the way back. Now we'll see what they do. But at the end of the day, they were not going to pay to save the Bron AD era any longer. They weren't going to do that. They were never going to do that. Rob sat back just like Friedman did when he was waiting on Shohei and all this. Now look what he's doing. He was waiting for his guys. He didn't get Bryce Harper. He didn't keep Seager. He didn't keep Turner. He didn't keep Machado. He didn't go after any of these guys. He was waiting for his guys, and then he let it fucking rip. And that's, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I trust the Lakers organization like I do the Dodgers. I'm not going to say that. But they are in the building. They are in the building. And what I'm saying is, I said it at the time of the trade, the Lakers kind of mimicked the Dodgers' approach here. They sat back, they ate a bunch of shit, and they took it until their guy became available. Until Mookie became available, that's what the Dodgers were waiting on. They got Mookie. They got Freddie. They got Shohei. Like I said, they let it rip.
It's quite amazing. It's quite amazing, Jeff, that you mentioned those correlations, because this morning I got a link because of the algorithm. Obviously, my YouTube algorithm knows what I like to watch. I didn't know this, but the Staples Center is going to be going through a $700 million renovation. Gerald, remember you were talking about, would they look for another arena?
If they don't get what they want.
$700 million to renovate, the Crypt.com arena?
You got to remember, they still don't own it. They're still...
That only matters, Gerald, that only matters in terms of the worth of the Lakers from a Genie bus standpoint.
Talk to the Warriors on that.
Yeah, but, the Lakers can't afford that. But didn't they just extend with them?
Yes,
they just extended with them for a good. I mean, they can't go anywhere.
They're not going anywhere. There's nowhere to go in LA, anyways.
But they can't. Like, they're locked in.
Right,
they're locked in. They're signed.
But I did not know they were going to put almost a bill in this. I don't know if the Guggenheims have something to say in this. I kept hearing AEG was struggling, but maybe I'm hearing wrong. But I find it hilarious that all this stuff happened within the last 2 to 3 weeks. We thought this organization was a garbage pail, and all of a sudden, within 2 to 3 weeks, all the shit's coming out. We were sitting here begging Genie to sell to the Guggenheims so that we can get what we've been watching in Dodger Stadium and what's going on. And here they are. They're already doing it. I didn't know this.
That's why they're sitting back laughing, right? Because they're like...
in the end, guys, I'm watching this video of what they're planning to do, and I'm going, I know nothing. This is why I'm probably not working for AEG or the Guggenheims or the LA Lakers. Maybe I should shut the fuck up and just sit there and be a fan. Because we don't know shit. And we look like chumps. I felt like a chump even more this morning. And man, you have no idea how happy I was. You have no fucking idea how happy I was watching that video. I'm like, this is what's going on? I didn't know any of this. Hell yeah. Good. Thank God. I want to win, dude. Winning trumps being right and looking good. Well, looking good's got to be there too, but you know what I mean.
Winning trumps all. I'd rather be wrong, like I said, 100 times. 100 times. I will happily wear a shirt that says I'm wrong. I have no problem being wrong. A lot of people can't say that. A lot of people have to be right. I could give two shits about being right. I want my team to win. I want my team to win.
Winning, folks, is a drug that never gets old, and it never, ever destroys you. Although, if you're not winning, you become a very irritable asshole.
and they're already, for those who have been down in downtown LA, they've already been working over there a lot. All right. They've already been working on it a lot, right, over there. So I'm surprised that took so long to come out. And I saw something. There's something that could go from 700 to above $1 billion, depending. So like that thing, the whole area around it, it's going to be a lot. Just like again, Dodger Stadium does this every offseason. It looks like the Lakers are going to start with the Clippers out of there, and with being the Kings and the Lakers again, just like the form was. They're now they're going to put some money into it, right? But that just in general, like they sit back, and that old saying, like if you listen to the fans, you'll be sitting with them. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like we all think, I put myself in this category too. We all think we know more than them. We all think we know better than them. We all think that we all caught on to something, that you're not fooling me. You may fool everyone else. But at the end of the day, none of us are running an NBA franchise. And whether we approve of these people or not, they're doing something we could only dream of. And same with someone running a basketball operation. Same with someone sitting on an NBA, as an NBA head coach. Look, the worst player in the NBA and the worst head coach in the NBA would run circles around every single buddy on YouTube in their sleep. I promise you this. All right? In their sleep. Go watch the worst player in the NBA pull up to LA Fitness and watch him just take lives. Watch it. I've seen it. Watch it. Watch the best player in the G League show up.
Brian Scalabrine talked about that on the NBA channel.
It's a fact. It's a fact. I guarantee you, anyone pulls up right now and tries to have I don't care if I get killed for this. Anybody right now pulls up and tries to have a basketball conversation with Darvin Ham. It didn't work on the court, but he would cook your ass. I promise you. I promise you. Was he a great NBA head coach? No, but he never should have been picked in the first place. But basketball knowledge, he wet the bed when he was his turn. But I'm telling you, the worst of the worst in the league will blow your mind with what they know and what they can do. That's why they're there. And it's why they've been there forever.
Well, Axie, I'll tell you what, brother. I don't know if you're a sister or brother. Sorry. I'm going to say this, and I'm glad you opened it up with that comment. Gerald, and then I'll get to Jeff here in a minute. But it's the same question. Gerald, seriously, just because Axie kind of brought it up, what would happen if the Lakers actually won the title this year for the league?
For the league, obviously, would be a good sign, because now you're talking about a new face of the league winning right away. We talked about, what happens after LeBron, the Currys, all those mainstays when they go. Who will be the face of the NBA going forward? We just saw a possible face of the NBA is out for the rest of the season with deep vein thrombosis and Victor Wembanyama. So who is that face they're going to turn to? And by God, the NBA would love it if a major market city with a brand new superstar that they just got led them to a title run. How good would that be? Alongside one of their premier faces in the league for decades in LeBron James alongside. How good? What kind of scenario could be written any better than that, Joe?
Jeff, your retort to that?
And by the way, on top
Sure.
of that, Jeff, real quick, Nikos Harrison's, I would guard his house if that happens.
I'm gonna continue on to that, but I want to hear what Jeff says,
and
then
his car, and him, and his family. My God, they would be on lockdown.
Yeah. Luka is going to be the face of the NBA. He's the face of the NBA because he's a 25-year-old megastar who's going to win multiple MVPs. He's going to win multiple championships, and he's going to win championships with the Lakers, which is also the biggest brand in the sport. And new TV deal, all that money going around, all that kicking in, salary cap spiking, all that. The Lakers are in such a beautiful position because they have a megastar. They're about to have cap space. They have more picks than people think. Tradable, everyone talks about all the picks the Lakers can or can't trade, but they forget all the picks that they have. So the Lakers will be getting busy around draft time every single year. It's the best time to get busy. So I'm telling you, the Lakers have The league was in trouble because there was no face post LeBron. There wasn't one. The Lakers are always the face of the league. Excuse me. The Lakers are the stage of the league. And now they have their star to be on that stage. That's it. That's it. And, and I'm telling you, man, the Spurs better not fuck this up. The Spurs better not fuck this up with Wemby. I'm going to die on this hill, man. I'm telling you, the Spurs better get their house in order with Wemby because he's not going to need that extension like most teams do, like most players do with that first one. And for those sitting here talking back about Luka and the contract and him not wanting, he didn't ask to be traded to the Lakers. Yeah. Have you ever seen Luka turn down an extension? He hasn't. He already lost how much money by the Dallas trade? You think he's going to turn down an additional $50 million by turning down a Laker extension? It's not going to happen, y'all. The only way Luka was leaving Dallas on his own accord was to be a Laker. He's already here. He cut the line. And he's about to be a face of the franchise. Face of the league, face of the franchise, and a face of multiple fucking championships, man. It just is. It is just what it is.
You're going to need more than one casket in Dallas if the Lakers win the championship this year. Because the Edelsons are going to be hunted. Forget about Nico. The Edelsons are going to be hunted.
I don't know. Have you taken a look at Twitter lately? Just type in Nico Harrison on Twitter. You'll see.
Fuck Nico Harrison. Look at this. You see this? This is to why gambling is trash. Okay? This is why.
No, I would say thank you, Nico Harrison.
Thank you. I'm basing this off of outside the Laker sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You did this for what? Because you didn't want to pay what will be the number one guy in your league his money because you want a bunch of old fucks gambling and smoking your fucking casinos. Fuck you and fuck your gambling, but thank you for giving us Luka. Shot to that. Shotgun to that. And this is not a bird shot. This is a motherfucking buckshot.
Buckshot. Okay.
Empire, just to let you know, if he does not sign an extension, he becomes a restricted free agent. Victor does in the summer of.
He becomes a restricted free agent. If he takes, he becomes a restricted free agent if he, what's the term? If he, what's the thing with the qualifying offer?
He refuses whatever's tendered, whatever's offered to him.
So here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal.
No. I think he can. I think he can take the qualifying offer.
Here's what he wants to do, folks. I'm going to tell you right now. He needs to take a 2+1. He's going to have to, kind of back himself up a little bit for a couple of years. As soon as he hits the second year, he can opt out. As soon as he finishes that second year on that 2+1, he can opt out and then sign an extension for 5 years for $418. Now, looking at it from comparing it to what he would have signed this year for the Supermax, he's making more money from a gross standpoint, but he's going to lose more money from taxes. However, I am sure of this, that he's going to get more endorsement money.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah.
In LA, even if he doesn't win a championship the next couple of years, than he would in Dallas. However, if he wins in LA, let's say next year, holy shit. By the way, speaking of that, have you looked at the numbers yet with what Ohtani brought in the Dodgers? So you remember, Jeff, I said that's too much money?
Yeah, and I told you we're crazy.
Yeah, you said I was crazy. So another thing I was wrong in. Now, I didn't know the international connection. I didn't know about it. It is ridiculous. Ridiculous what that man brought into the Dodgers this year. Some have said, even though it's not a $700 million, he has brought in more than what they actually thought. And by the way, he also served a championship, by the way, folks, and a 50-50 and an MVP.
Yeah. So, he brought in double what his salary would have been, and they didn't even have to pay.
Right. That's what it was. Guys, so his salary would have been $70 million. He brought on $140. Folks,
that may be conservative.
Right. I think it is. I think it's probably closer to 200.
Mhm.
Now, we might be powers of industry in our world, but we don't compare to these people. We're nothing. We're fucking ants. So, and we're gonna. I'm not ashamed to admit it. You know, I'm not ahead in those categories with these guys. I'd like to be now. I've learned a lesson. I have learned a lesson. The Luka trade changed my life in terms of how I look at things from now on. When you say never, there's a scene in Inglourious Bastards. For those of you who've watched this, remember the ending?
Gerald,
Hey guys, if you guys haven't seen it, tune your ears down for about 2 minutes. There's a scene where Hans Landa is talking to the Brad Pitt character, and he's saying, would you believe that I have a deal here for you that I'm not going to kill you? And of course, Brad Pitt's like, no fucking way, you're not going to kill us. What are you, nuts?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he basically explains, and I'm paraphrasing this because I don't want to talk about this in the next 15 minutes. He basically says, but every now and then something comes along and changes history. Something that's unbelievable that you didn't expect. That was the Luka trade for me. Sports has changed. Sports to me changed that day. And there's evidence online in a video for you to see how fucked up I was that night. And thank God we were on air, because you cannot fabricate that response from my boy Money Mark looking at his screen going, Luka got traded? And then Gerald going from, that's fake, that's bullshit, that's this. Wait a minute, Joe, it's real. All in like 3 seconds. And then what? Another 20 minutes, I'm still looking like Stevie Wonder, not knowing where I am. Yeah, that changed. And from now on, Jeff's starting to hint at some things here. And guys, when Jeff starts to hint, you better listen. If Victor starts to feel some things in San Antonio, don't think that guy's gonna go, oh no, I'm thinking about this or that. Hey, guys, he might not be that guy. He might be like Bo Jackson, where money ain't a priority. He might say, fuck you, Hugh Culberhouse, motherfucker. You try to sabotage my career. I'm going to go play baseball in the minor leagues and not take the richest contract in NFL history at that time. Because I don't want because his principles were bigger. And you all know how we work here. You all know how I work here. Fuck your money. I don't give a fuck who you are. That's why I'm a lone ranger. That's why I work by myself. I don't need your money. I don't need your praise. I don't need anything from you. I don't give a fuck who you are. That's how it works. That's how you own your life. When you don't have a price for your principles, you own your life. And how that correlates with this is that in the end, anything's possible. And we saw it. And man, salute to Rob and Jeannie. I mean, Jeff, this was the most Dr. Bus move, if not the greatest bus move we've ever seen, right?
Yeah, the father's daughter did it, man.
I mean, she did it, right? Because you can't really say the Magic thing was like, that was an obvious pick. And Kareem was already.
It wasn't to everybody. It wasn't to everybody. Jerry didn't want it. You remember? It wasn't to everybody. Doc, real quick. Dr. Bus would not have bought the team if they did not agree to draft Magic. Jerry did not want Magic.
Do you believe that, Jeff? Did you believe that he wanted Sidney Moncrief?
I mean,
he kind of denied it.
I'll say this. I've seen Jerry go balls to the wall when he was dead set on changing the narrative or being right. He didn't go crazy over that take. And I think it's because he knows too many people knew it. Too many people knew it. And hey, look, I could get at that time a 6'9" point guard. You're crazy. There were people that didn't think, there were people that didn't think. And I know there's enough people saying that Dr. Bus said that he would not buy the team unless they drafted Magic. Why would he have to insist upon that if he was the sure shot at number one? That's all I'm saying. I don't know for a fact. I don't know. There's enough smoke there to be some fire. Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. But I know that Jerry West tells the story endlessly of how he threw his body in front of a Klay Thompson, Kevin Love trade. That's his, like one of his biggest ones. He don't go out there nowhere near and talk about the Magic thing is he doesn't fight that with force. He doesn't. I think there's a reason for that.
Guys, I just want to catch up on a couple questions. 805 earlier in the chat put a super chat up. Wanted to ask Hakeem or Jokic.
I would say
I don't know.
That's close. They would be right there with me.
It's close, but if we're saying in either era that one can play in both, I'm taking Hakeem. Because Hakeem played in the center era where defense and he dominated. I'll take Hakeem. I think Hakeem's a better player than Joker. I think he is. I think Joker's incredible. That's taking nothing away. But that run that Hakeem went on at 94, 95, if I feel like if you put Joker in there instead of Hakeem, I'm not sure Houston win those championships, is what I'm saying. I think Shaq would have fucking destroyed Joker. He couldn't destroy Hakeem.
Rules matter, guys. Rules matter. And the rules in the 90s are different than now.
Yes.
They just are.
I'll take either. I'll take either. I want to be clear about that. I'll take either. And it's not like Hakeem was going to, I'm not going to say he's going to smoke him, but I'll take Hakeem because of
Hakeem on defense was just out of this world.
I think people don't remember how great he was defensively. This man was a small forward in the center's body. He was ridiculous. The footwork was impeccable. That guy was if not for Michael Jordan, you know what I mean? And some injuries, who knows that? Or like he is incredible, man.
Second question is for you. Do you think LeBron, from Kurt Affair, do you think LeBron will take a pay cut in the offseason?
When you say you, who?
You, Jeff. Do you think LeBron will take a pay cut?
Yes.
In the
He offered this year, but it wasn't for anyone the Lakers were really committed on going all in on. Again, LeBron, through his agent, put it out there publicly, which kind of killed the Lakers' chances that he would take a pay cut for certain players. The Lakers were not excited about the players that LeBron picked for long term for that team with Braun and AD. Again, the Lakers were not going to save that team. If LeBron opts out, you guys got to understand. You guys, when I say you guys, I mean the chat. You guys got to understand. The Lakers did not draft Bronny out of the kindness of their hearts. They did not draft Bronny because they felt he was going to become something. They did not draft Bronny for anything other than to continually do business with LeBron James. And that is LeBron, like we talked about with Ohtani and Luka, is still a cash cow. He is the Lakers' biggest ticket. He is the Lakers' biggest draw. And until the Lakers had Luka, they had no one at the gate like Bron that could pull. Now they got Bron and Luka. And you could say what you want about Bronny, but he sells. And that G League team is making money. It wasn't just
they're not making wins. If you take a look at their record,
they don't care. They don't care. They don't care.
I know.
They don't care. They're going to be mark my words. They're going to be the first G League team with a substantial TV deal. Just mark my words. All right.
500,000 in jersey sales. The first 2-3 months. Yeah, that'll do it.
Just watch. And they didn't do that for the player. They did that for the brand. And what people have to understand when it comes to Jeannie, everything she's doing, the brand of the Lakers and the money that could be made off of James family and the Lakers combined is working. It works. It will continue to work. This is why, once again, the post NFL NBA LeBronathon is going to take full-fledged in March again, like it does every single year. Because it still matters. It's still the draw. It's still huge. And now you got Luka on there. So LeBron will be willing to take a pay cut if he is agreeable to what the Lakers are going to do with the money. But now it's not about getting him help. It's about getting Luka help. And getting Luka help extends Braun's career. And he can make that money back. So it all depends on who the player is. What is it? I think LeBron is going to continue to do 1+1 deals for however long he plays. And I think every offseason will be the chance for him to take the pay cut if the Lakers can make the roster work. So, yes, I know I've heard people say that LeBron said he'll never take a pay cut again after Miami. Those were different. He was willing to this year. The Lakers just weren't aligned with who those players were. But I think if the Lakers have a player that they want to get and Braun's in agreement, I think he will sacrifice some money. That's why they gave his son a 4-year deal. That was all that was about. That wasn't out of the kindness of their hearts. We're going to draft your son. We're going to give him a deal. We're going to guarantee him money. We're going to guarantee him a roster spot. We're going to do all this. But when we ask for our favor for a favor, we're going to get our favor. And they're going to get their favor.
Well, it's interesting that Sasha Doncic, Luka's father? Is that how you pronounce his name?
I don't know his name.
I'll get it for you.
Okay, so
I think that's how you say it. Sasha.
Yeah,
it's
so
spelled Sasa, but it has.
I'm trying to learn the Serbian / Slovenian
Sasa?
accents as much as I can. Sasha, right? So it's Doncic, Sancha. I don't know. Maybe it's Sancha. Jeff, remember I sent you a text? I sent you a text about the 27 Yankees, about how Ruth in 27 hit 60 home runs, had 165 RBIs, and he didn't even get placed in the MVP that year. Lou Gehrig won the MVP, and then his teammate got 11th. Ruth didn't have any placement that year. The moral of the story is, and this is something that I'm ashamed that because I usually try to preach this as much as I can, but again, the Luka trade kind of slapped me back into what I should be thinking. We all think that what's going on right now is the first time it happened. It's not. Human behavior doesn't change.
They're saying, according to Google, Sasa Doncic.
Sasa, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so Sasa Doncic, good. What my point is here is we think that all this stuff. So in terms of how the Lakers have managed players back in the day, Magic was looked on as kind of like how they took care of LeBron here, right? He gets special privileges, and we don't say anything about that, but we comment about how LeBron gets special privileges, and we get angry. That's another thing where I did at least, where I kind of went off. Kind of revisionist history type shit. The Lakers, and this is something that I have to now ride the rest of the way. I can't ever really deviate from this anymore. It's just I can't. This trade was so astronomically great. I can't ever really look at, even if they make 10 bad moves, it's going to be very hard for me to forget this. But the Lakers take care of their stars. They take care of their stars.
Yep, they do, and that's what they're doing in Braun. Like I said, they did it. And the only reason they didn't take care of Shaq is because Shaq was screaming to the owner in a preseason game, basically saying, F you, pay me. And then he was the company time. Shaq admittedly botched that. Shaq had a chance to retire a Laker if he didn't go just full Shaq mode. Shaq was very sensitive, very public, and kind of brought that on himself. But if he stayed the course, he probably would have been a Laker throughout till the end of his career.
That played out the way it needed to play out, Jeff, because I full-heartedly believe if Shaq had stayed, let's say Shaq agrees that he'll take 20 per versus 30, which is what Dr. Buss offered him, I have no doubt Kobe Bryant is a Clipper that year.
Yeah, when we're talking about that dynamic, yeah. But I'm happy the way it played out. But I still think that if Shaq played ball, he would have stayed, and it may have left to Kobe leaving. So I agree that it worked out the right way. but I still believe that they would have taken care of their star had the star taken care of them.
Yes, I agree. However, man, the thought of Kobe in a Clipper jersey makes me throw up.
I still don't know if he would have done it, but
He
I've heard.
agreed.
I've heard.
Jeff,
Well,
I believe Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor said he agreed verbally, and then we didn't find out how that played out until Kobe passed away, and Jerry West was doing that inside the NBA kind of commemorate. Yeah, and he was talking about how he told me you cannot go play for that owner. He told Elgin Baylor there's no reason for Elgin Baylor to lie in that situation. Elgin Baylor said Kobe said he's coming to LA. He's coming to the Clippers. And then Jerry West talked him out of it. And it had a lot to do with the fact that Dr. Buss got rid of Shaq and Kobe wanted to win without Shaq. This is something that I'm not going to I refuse to argue against. This is played out the way it needed to play out because there's no way Kobe would have played on the Lakers if Shaq had stayed, even if he had taken $5 million a year. We have a super chat here. Hold on one second here. Matthew, my guy, Matthew.
Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate it.
So, folks, Matthew McLean is my cigar buddy in Arizona. He's family. He's my cousin's man. And one of the my Nick Saban fandom grew because I knew this man. This is a big Alabama fan. And we've had hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of discussions about Nick Saban and Alabama and college football. And you guys don't know. You guys, a lot of the guys on here, man, even Jeff, maybe even Gerald to a degree, although Gerald did get a little taste of college football from my perspective. Guys, football is my life. I know it doesn't show. Football is the only sport I played in my life that ever gave me euphoria at its peak. I mean, my kids in my personal life are my euphoria, but in terms of just my own thing, like for me, the violence, the pain, because there's something hereditary in me that just kind of is attracted to pain. I don't know what else to say. I enjoyed legally killing people on the football field. Not literally, but I actually thought about destroying human beings on the football field. I was okay off the field. It was just on the field. I wanted to end your existence. And it was just beautiful. I remember there was a play in high school where this was where it was birthed. It was birthed on this one play. My buddy Justin was pulling as a guard, and I was playing defensive end. And he pulled. I saw him coming, and because he's my boy, that's how guys are. Women, they always ask, guys are this and that. Guys, they like to destroy their own friends just for fun, right? So I see my boy coming at me in a screen. I don't really think I would have been this aggressive if it was just a random guy. I might have just made the play happen and be done with it. But because it was him, I'll be like, all right, motherfucker, I'm going to fucking make you vertical. And I did. I made him vertical to so bad to the point where the wind got knocked out of him and he could not get up. And I remember I hit him, looked down. I'm like, Wood. Last name was Wood. I go, Woody, what's up? You all right? You good?
Hey, Wood.
You all have probably experienced getting the wind knocked out of you. And as soon as I was like, okay, everybody's like, all right, get back to get back to your huddle, whatever. And I got back to my huddle, guys. It was at that moment that I could say I could relate to a fiend, someone who's a fiend to something, because the adrenaline, the dopamine, we didn't know what the hell that word was back then, but the dopamine that came from that hit basically guided me the rest of my life playing football. I wanted to end every person. I was on kickoff returns. I was on kickoff everything. I had made every hit. I took a 330-pound guy, made him go vertical once. It was fucking like a drug like you couldn't even believe. That football is my thing, and you all don't even know this because all you hear is basketball and baseball. Baseball. I always used to laugh at baseball players. I'm like, what is this? Using a bat, hitting the ball. Right? Basketball, kind of same thing. Oh, what, you're going to do a little this, and that. Every time I played recreational basketball, as soon as I saw a high flyer coming in, I turned into Dennis Rodman. As soon as I turned into Dennis Rodman, that motherfucker never came into the lane. Had better skills than me, could shoot the lights out, don't get me wrong. But if he got into that paint, he heard it, right? This is before the league turned into what it turned into. But anyways, point is, what's happened now with the Lakers is everything's been reset. In a way that it's been reset that I could have never in a million years imagined. This is 34 years of watching NBA basketball, retaining all that information, retaining everything you could possibly retain from a fan's standpoint. And imagine after 34 years getting to a point 3 weeks ago and saying, do I really know anything about this thing? And I'm still asking myself that question. And I have fully humbled myself. The word humble has arrived and it has set. Anyone who criticizes anything I've said in the past, now, later, you are completely justified. Because after 34 years of watching this thing, I still feel like I don't know shit. And I know that makes Gerald really, really happy. I'm going to take a shot to that.
Yeah, none of us really know anything, man. We just react to what we think we know, and then sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. You know what I mean? It's all it really is. We just observe what we see and think. We just give opinions.
Jeff,
you know
I've been wrong this entire year. Like, seriously, I've been wrong almost on everything. I said Max Christie wasn't a fucking NBA player. Look what the fuck he's doing. I said Jeannie and Rob didn't know their ass from their fucking asshole.
I think it was a lot easier to question Jeannie and Rob than it was to say Max wasn't an NBA player. I had moments of questioning those guys. I never thought Max wasn't an NBA player. Like, I just thought he wasn't being developed right. But Max was an NBA player. He always was. This was not surprising. The Luka trade, absolutely surprising. Max doing what he's doing isn't, to me.
Man, it's starting to get hot in Southern California, isn't it? Or is it just me?
It was hot today, man. It was 80 today.
Dude, my kids were swimming today, man.
Yeah, it was 80 today, man.
Man, Sean is still stuck in what, 40-inch fucking snow? Folks, you can say what you want about California, and you'd be right. But there's one thing that you can't deny, and no one ever denies it. It's just, everyone knows. You can get out on a January evening, morning, afternoon, February, and you can go swimming in your pool and feel completely well.
It's the weather tax. It's what we fucking pay for. It's the
Weather tax.
Weather tax.
Weather tax is the perfect description of that.
Yep.
Joe's R.I.P. Folks, I'm like Ric Flair, baby. My liver will live on forever. It'll live on longer than I'll be alive.
You know what's going to kill him, Joe? It's going to be those energy drinks that he keeps on pitching.
Oh, yeah, those, yeah.
That's garbage, man.
Folks, those energy drinks, I remember years ago. Remember the drink Jolt?
Yep.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
So somebody had done an experiment on Jolt. They said the Jolt drink back in the 90s when we were growing up with it, 80s. It had 2 times the caffeine, right? 2 times the caffeine, the regular caffeine of like Coke, Pepsi. And at that time, we're like, yeah, man. I didn't like Jolt because it tasted like shit, so I never drank it.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. But they did an experiment. This was like 15 years ago. I don't know how I got the information, but they said it's 12 times worse than Jolt, the Monsters, the fucking Red Bulls. 12. 12, not 3, not 8, 12. And then the sad thing is, I'm driving by the local high school where I live, and it's just at the time when the kids are going to class, and you have 4 fucking idiots, because I was getting gas at the gas station across the street, 4 fucking high school idiots buying Monsters getting into school. And I'm sitting there going, where the fuck, what the fuck? And you wonder why teachers and administrations have to deal with this shit. I'm like, where the fuck are the parents in this deal? Where? My kids don't drink that shit. My kids are they come in the house, they're fucking scared the entire time, let alone go drink fucking bullshit. The fuck are you doing? Why are you letting your kids drinking fucking Monster at 7 a.m. in the morning? That's how it starts, guys. You ever heard that term, Jeff? That's how it starts?
That's how it starts. Entryway.
Right?
The gateway, what do they call it?
Right. Be careful. Number 1, respect. It's not just respect your parents, your friends, authority, teachers. Respect yourself, man. Respect your fucking self. I'm not saying don't splurge on a Big Mac here and there, but come on, really? Monster at 7 a.m. in the morning? What's next? Coke at 11 o'clock for recess?
Yeah, that's asking for it. It's definitely asking for it.
I know we veered off a little bit on the discussion, but that's the Nightcap, baby. And this is the fastest hour and 47 minutes of my life. Is it because I'm fucked up?
That's part of it, but there's also good conversation.
Is it good conversation, Gerald?
It's good conversation.
The masters of ceremony?
It's always nice to see you get wasted. And
I know.
progressively
That's
get,
why I do it.
more
I know.
messed up as we go forward. The chat just loves it. Absolutely.
The key here is we have to cater, as performers, we have to cater to the audience. And I love our audience. Love our audience. And Gerald loves to show the standings for some reason in the middle of the show. Like
Some
10
people
times.
know. Well, I've just
Okay,
done it
let's
once.
talk about that, Gerald. Let's talk about that for a second. So look at that. Look at the standings right now. The Lakers are a game back. I only pay attention to the loss column. I don't care about the games back bullshit. So the Lakers right now are a game back behind the Denver Nuggets and Memphis. If the Lakers can get the 2 or 3 seed, I firmly believe that there's a shot this year. If they get the 4, it's going to be much harder.
It would be definitely harder. They'd have home court for a round, and unless someone else gets knocked out ahead of them, but it will be harder, but not as hard as when they're the 7th, 6th, those seeds. But it'll be harder. But I agree. If they get a top 1, 2, or 3 seed and get at least 2 rounds of home court advantage, and maybe that top seed falls off because I'm not very high on the top seeds. I think it does make a world of difference for sure.
So looking at their schedule, so they got Dallas without AD coming on Tuesday. By the way, I got a story for you guys. So there was this lady online that was talking about Laker tickets. You guys are gonna laugh at this story.
She's talking about Laker tickets.
Hold on. I gotta get myself right because I'm fucked up right now. So I'm on exchanges on Facebook, right? I have like 180, almost 200 exchanges. This is how I sell turf and dialogue with people out there that need whatever, right? So this one lady puts up, I have Laker tickets, season tickets that I need to get rid of, blah, blah, blah. And I saw this last week, but I didn't think a lot about it. She put another post in, I think yesterday. So I finally said, okay, I'm going to give this chick a message and see what's up. So
she's talking about the Dallas game.
Well, she's got season tickets in general, right? So
Okay.
apparently she's got some medical issue with something going on in her family where
Her
she's trying
son. I think I got spammed by the same.
to.
But
Okay,
go ahead. I
is
think
her name? Hold on.
I don't know. It's my
I
IG,
didn't really
my
get
TikTok.
spammed. It was on my exchange, but her name was. You're gonna again. The story is kind of funny because her name is Amani Wilbert.
The one I had, it was some lady talking about her son had leukemia.
Whatever. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So here's the story, right? So she shares her, hey, I have Laker tickets, and it's a bunch of people. Hey, I do lawns, I do hand jobs, I do whatever the fuck, right? and I ignore that shit usually. I don't give a shit. So I finally I'm like, look, I'm kind of curious. I'm gonna see what this is about. So I hit her up. Hey, what kind of Laker tickets do you have? So she sends me that she's in the 107s, and right away, as soon as I hear one, I'm like, oh, okay. 107s, I do remember. It's usually behind the backboard, which it could be good, it could be bad. Again, you pick your battles at that point. I'd rather be in the game
behind the backboard on the Lakers bench side. Yeah,
exactly. So I was like, it's okay. I've watched plenty of games on the backside of a backboard. It is what it is, right? So she tells me she has 4 tickets. And right away, I'm thinking she's going to say $300-400 for the ticket. She doesn't. She says $100. I'm like, the fuck? So I have my wife. I go, hey, honey, can you do me a favor? Can you run comps? Because she was trying to get me tickets for my birthday. And she's like, dude, every ticket's like $400-500 for that fucking
$300-400 for that seat,
right?
4 fees.
And she'd probably buy it, but I told her not to. I was like, no, don't pay $300 for a ticket. It's okay. I'll figure out another way. I usually go solo, which is much cheaper, especially the day of. Usually, what happens is if I really wanted to go to a game, like the Pau Gasol jersey retirement ceremony, I got those tickets for $140.
I went to that game.
Yeah, dude, you were there?
Yeah, I was there. They gave away the jersey.
Oh my God,
Vanessa was there. Yeah, hey, Joe, I was sitting in 107. I'm not even nowhere close to kidding. I'll send you the video of where I was. I'm not kidding. Me and my wife went. And shout out to Coach Joe. He was there too. Yeah, I was in 107.
Well, so it was destined that Jeff and I would eventually get together here. So here we are. So she tells me it's $100 a ticket for 4 tickets. She's got 4 season tickets. I'm bitch, there's no way you're charging $100 for these tickets, right?
That's more than that's less than what she paid for.
I'm like, that's less than what you paid, this, and that. Yeah. And she's talking about, and she's being very non-aggressive, which is, after a while, I always kind of, somebody doesn't trust me in something, I'm always like, look, forget this. I don't got time for this. It's okay, whatever. Or I'll say, look, here's my number. Here's my address. This is where I live. She doesn't do any of that. She's playing it nice. She's doing whatever. So I call my boy. I'll leave him nameless for the moment.
Thou shalt be nameless.
I say, hey, can you do me a favor? And I'm going to read what he said. I'm gonna read it. I have to read it because it's funny. Okay, so I hold on. I gotta find it. Hold on, it's right here. Hold on. So I hit him up. I say, I go, can you check to see if I'm sorry. This is what I said. Sorry, I said Amani Wilbert. That's the name of the lady. I go, can you verify this lady through her Facebook? And he goes, she's black. No.
What? What is that even?
Just bear with me for a minute. And then he wrote back, no, I could do it later. I'm with my dad, of course. My guy is got the worst ADHD in the history of ADHD. He's nuts. So I'm laughing at this point because that's how he is, right? So I wrote back, I go, the lady is white. At least that's what it says on at least what the picture on the profile page is. And she's on one of my exchanges selling Laker tickets. I wanted to make sure she was legit. So within like 15 seconds, he sends me a post and he goes, only one in the whole United States. And he sends me the PDF of the background check. And it's a lady in Birmingham, Alabama. Folks, my boy is a guy that used to be a chomo hunter. Do you all know what a chomo hunter is?
You said a
Gerald,
chomo
do you know
hunter?
what a chomo hunter is? I got to take a shot for that one. Chomo hunter is a guy that finds child molesters.
I hadn't. Yeah. Yeah. They.
Why are y'all quiet, man? This is a funny story. All right, so let's just put it this way. My guy is very equipped at finding things, right? That's what he does for a living, or he did, anyways. So he found the one lady with that name, and it was in Birmingham, Alabama, and that was it. I knew that was a scam, so I wrote back and I said, "Nah, I'm gonna pass." So this lady was selling this. She was selling the 107s. She had 4 tickets allegedly for $100. And I asked her, I said, "Why are you selling these for 100 when the comps say 450?" And actually, they went up. As I found out that the comps were 450, I actually found out that they actually went up after like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm trying to find where I have it too. Yeah, I think it was on either my I think it was on TikTok or YouTube. I had the same thing. I've got tickets to the dad. I'm a season ticket holder. I can't go because my son has leukemia. It was the story, and looks like she was spamming all the creators.
Leukemia story. Fuck you.
Trying to find it because I had it, but I knew what you were talking about as soon as you said it because I got spammed with it too. My bad. I've been looking at. I've got a something going on at.
Hold on, there was no. It's not real. It's a scam.
Yeah, it's a scam.
So,
first of all, season ticket holders pay more than 100 for those seats. So that was a red flag right there, right? And it's funny. I'm telling you, I was in that seat on the Gasol night. I'm gonna send you a picture. Matter of fact, I think my IG on my personal IG, the picture of me and my wife is us in that section. I believe.
What seat was I on? I got to look at what I had here. I don't even remember. I'd have to look back. I was there. I could not be there. I had a job in Malibu. I had a job in Malibu.
That was sad, man. I told my wife when they unveil this and it's next to Kobe, I'm falling apart. Like it was like
it was, and I knew it was. I was in Malibu doing a project that day. And I made sure I waited until I knew I could get a ticket that would make sense. Got it, and then I was in. It's much easier to get cheaper tickets when it's just one, when you're solo.
Yeah.
My wife is a busy woman, so she doesn't give a shit about any of that anyways. If we can go, we can go. If not, she doesn't give a shit. So I went to Malibu, handled business, bought the tickets on my way towards downtown LA, got the ticket, went in, parked, and then I was in there. I couldn't miss because I was there for Pau Gasol's first game against Atlanta in Staples, and I was there, in Staples, and I was there for his that trade, guys. Well, I can't explain to you how much that trade just changed things for the Lakers. The Lakers were a first. By the way, they were a 1 seed when that happened, but the issue was Bynum got hurt in the Memphis game, and
Odom got hurt in Detroit. I remember, yeah. And
not only that, but Kwame Brown had a fucking dud. I mean, dud. It wasn't a dud like you had in Phoenix earlier in the year at home, to the point where my boy had to leave. He got up and I remember he banged knees on me, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" while he was walking out, but. It was a disaster. That was the last. So imagine this, Gerald. That Detroit game was the last game I didn't watch in its entirety for 10 years. That was the last one. So from 2008, when Gasol played against the Nets, until 2017. I hadn't missed a game from that whole decade until finally that 17 team just made me die. I was dying a fucking slow death. I couldn't do it anymore towards the end. Last 20 games I couldn't watch anymore. They were losing so much I just couldn't handle it. My God, I mean, seriously, like we're fucked up like that. Like, it's just sports, right? Like, what the fuck is wrong with us?
mean, it's
I'm,
not just sports.
I'm addicted to winning. It's what I do. It's like I have to live through these guys to have that competitive fire. I mean, I can play basketball at the park or at the gym, but none of those assholes play all out. They're just like playing.
I don't know. They're just getting in a run. So
Yeah. Was Jordan's first pick? Was Kwame Brown Jordan's first pick when he was an executive for the?
I don't know if it was his first pick, but he picked him at number 1. I don't know if that was his first pick though.
Was it Gerald?
I don't think it was.
Yeah, I don't think it was his first pick.
It's the one that has lasted the longest. Let's just put it that way.
Well, he was not too kind to Kwame Brown and there were some words that were probably not PC at the time, even then. And I still say that between him and Samaki Walker, they were the two most frustrating Laker players that I've ever watched play basketball. Kwame takes the cake because it was that 2006 missed rebound because he was a lazy fucking idiot. Cost the Lakers that series. And that's kind of what probably takes him on the 1 spot, at least when Samaki Walker sucked ass in 2002. They still won a championship, and his what shouldn't have counted 3-point shot against Sacramento in Game 4.
Yeah, should not have counted.
At least he did something right there.
Yeah, that should not have counted.
Wow, I haven't heard that name in a while. Gerald, where'd you get that name from? Taron Armstrong?
He is an Australian basketball league player who was just signed to a 2-way. Ironically, the news broke during the Golden State game, but he was signed to a 2-way by the Golden State Warriors. I'm trying to figure out from my Australian friends in our chat if he's worth anything. He's 17 points a game in the Australian League. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I'm going to answer Sharon's. Sharon, by the way, Sharon, you've been having some great comments. I wanted to give you props to that. Why did the Lakers break up winning 2020 team? I know the answer. Gerald, Jeff, why did they break that team up?
I mean, well, they really broke up the 2021 team. 2020 mostly came back. It's a common misconception when people talk about that. They broke up the 2021 team because they overreacted collectively, the organization and LeBron. I had felt all along that the organization should have just told LeBron no. They didn't. They agreed and then wanted to make their star happy and made a deal. I'm not going to say that the organization was not driven to a quote unquote star power player like Westbrook, but they were going after other angles. And that rush trade and then all the players they signed, that's what did it. So in 2021, at the end of 2021, you had the Dennis Schroeder experiment failed. Whatever side of the story you believe of that contract extension, because the one that's mostly out there is untrue. Secondly, you had Alex Caruso situation. You had a lot going on there. You had the Taylor Horton Tucker situation. You had all these things going on, and the Lakers just didn't really know what they wanted at the time. Okay, are we going to stick this out again? We brought in we got back Dwight, right? We lost Dwight in 2020. We brought him back that next offseason. We trade for Russ. We do all these. It was all these things trying to just overreact to the fact that they just fell apart because the season started 60 days. It ended October something, kicked off on Christmas. So 2 months after the season ended, they started their new season. And if you go back and look at all 4 teams that went to the conference finals in the bubble of 2020, none of them made it back the next year. The bubble tax was real. And most of those other teams standed pat, and the Lakers didn't. They overreacted to losing in 2021. You had Dennis Schroeder, free agency. Like I said, you had Caruso who was hurt at the end, and AD hurt at the end there. The Drummond experiment. We had all these things that just didn't work, and they felt like that team lost, when reality is that team had a great year, and then just 2020 caught up to them in 2021. and they overreacted. They made a stupid trade, and they felt that they can make the trade for Russ, signed a white back instead of Trez, and everything would be all right. And it wasn't. And that trade was doomed from the get-go. And that's essentially why they broke it up, is because they lost in 2021 and they didn't repeat. I think the best way to describe why they broke up the quote unquote 2020 team, even though that team was broke up in 2021, I think it would be fair to say that they broke it up because they didn't repeat and they panicked, is the best kind of way to go about it from my perspective.
Gerald?
Couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, when it comes right down to it, the mistakes that were made, sure, the quick turnaround obviously didn't help. When it was, like you said, 60 days, and obviously you had a very fatigued team, but we had a chance going into the playoffs.
Did.
We were right there with Phoenix. If you still ask us to this day, if AD didn't get hurt, could we have gone all the way and made it back to back? Most of us will still say yes to this day. But and then we just saw Rob, and this is what I worry about for long term, is that, yes, Rob made the right choice. He got the deal done when it was presented to him for Luka, but he is also the architect of the Russell Westbrook trade. He's also was in the room for Ivica Zubac. He was also in the room to draft JHS. Every GM has their mistakes, obviously, and also their pluses, but still, outside of that one trade deadline where, not trade deadline, but trade time where they got Rui and they got Vando and they improved the team enough to make that run to the Western Conference Finals, Rob himself has not had that many success stories to his resume. And I think Jeff has mentioned it. We've mentioned it from time to time. Well, in fact, we've mentioned it almost on a daily basis, for years. But with this Luka trade, he now gets a pass. Let's see how long that pass is. But with the 2020 team, he made some seriously fatal decisions that cost the window of LeBron and AD. And I think you'd have to say the THT one was really a calculated error on his part, not finding younger centers to go along AD as Howard and McGee got older. That was another key. Not continually placing the emphasis on what worked. They won the title based on their defense and transition. And once they started to drift away from that and go into other areas, and Jeff will, as I've already told Jeff before and told you before, when they, constructed the 2012 All-Star team in 2022, that was probably for me the tipping point on saying, I don't think Rob has the right vision for this team, but he got the job done, and I'm going to give him every kudos in the book, but we'll see what happens now that he has Luka. What is he going to do to sustain that going forward? But yeah, I think a lot of the issues on why the 2020 team did not find more success after that, I think a lot of it was circumstance, but a lot of it was decision making as well.
Yeah, a lot of it was bad luck. And I think when we talk about why the 2020 team was broken up, I think we also have to understand who built the 2020 team. And when we said about, we can't sit here and blame him for the stuff that he was in the room for, while not giving him credit for stuff he was in the room for. He was in the room for LeBron. He was in the room for AD. He was in the room for all these other players that got drafted. So that's why my kind of thing with Rob is it's kind of a wash now, because whether you can say LeBron and AD or who got AD, it was on Pelinka's watch. Magic didn't get that deal done. Pelinka did. Then you go all these other guys, KCP, that's Pelinka. Like all these pieces that came together there. His biggest.
Is Zubac's more Magic or
100% Magic. Magic went on ESPN and talked about it. Magic said, look at him in the playoffs. Look at him in the playoffs. What did he do in the playoffs? Magic rubbed that in. Magic, the play for Zubac was, see, the thing with Zubac was they knew they weren't going to re-sign him. They weren't going to re-sign him. They weren't going to keep him. So they wanted to flip him for something. There were 3 other deals on the table. That one, if you remember, came through at the end of the trade deadline. It was after the trade deadline was over. It was one of those things that got announced after because it goes in and you wait till it gets finalized. The Zubac one, they shopped him around anywhere. The Clippers were the only one to bid. Like, they were trying to move him. It just didn't work for the Lakers, and it worked for the Clippers. But that wasn't Rob. That was Magic. 100% Magic. Go back and watch that clip when he was on First Take talking about Zubac. He basically admits that was him. He admits it, and then Zubac tweeted out about it. That was Magic. Magic did not believe in Zubac. And he's the one that did that. It was also Magic that was throwing just lowball, ridiculous trade offers to the Pelicans to get AD, which is why they didn't get him at that trade deadline. And then once Magic was gone, Rob made a legitimate offer and got him. So like my thing with Rob is he has made a lot of mistakes, but I don't think anyone ever credits his home runs. They get him for his strikeouts, but they never give him his flowers for his home runs.
I'm crediting his home run now. He got the
job. No, not
done.
you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying like the constant like bashing of Rob even after this trade. Oh, he's gonna find it. Oh, he gets no credit. They called him.
Yeah, but
why do you think they called him?
But do you understand their apprehension to just fully buying in on Rob Pelinka because of that trade, because of his past?
No, because like I said, one of the biggest beasts with people is they tore up the 2020 team. Who built that team? You know what I mean? And what I'm saying is that the Westbrook one was horrible and it was on his watch, but that was LeBron. He should have told his star no, but he didn't. He has to wear it. He has to wear it. But like I said, if we whiteboarded all the things that Pelinka got, guess what? How many teams passed on Whitmore? How many? What number did he get picked?
It was 21.
How many teams passed on Jaime Jaquez Jr.? Hindsight's 2020. How many? You want to know the funny story? How many teams were calling the Lakers to get JHS? Why do you think they went to the commercial break during the Lakers pick? They were knocking the doors down, including Houston, to get him. It didn't work out. It happens.
There's a little bit of variation there, Jeff. Gerald has his view on that, but Podzayeski and Triple J were not. I never blamed them for not, like, that wasn't part of the discussion.
You said Whitmore right there and then.
Whitmore had to be the pick there. That I knew for 100%.
But there was a reason why he slipped.
I understand.
There was a reason why he slipped.
I understand that. And that's why I never said, well, you should have gotten Triple J or Podzayeski. That's easy to say. Those guys were the 2020 hindsight guys. Whitmore was the best player available at 17, regardless of whatever the hell was going on. You got to pick the best player available at that point. They did not. They picked JHS, who was not better than Cam Whitmore. They should have got him. Even if it didn't work out, it still would have been a better pick.
Why do you think Dalton was picked? Part of the reason why Dalton was picked, because the same thing that happened to Dalton that happened to Whitmore. He fell down.
Well, he was the draft. He was second on their board, though. They didn't think he'd be available, but he was on their board. So the thing with this is totally different. Let me ask you something. Did Joe freeze, or is he just holding his hand right there?
Okay. He's just holding his hand right there.
Let me ask you a question. Would you trade Whitmore for Reeves and Caruso?
No. Who
got those two guys?
Lakers.
Okay. So what I'm saying is I'm not disagreeing. He got it wrong. I got no problem saying that. What I'm saying is if we're going to whiteboard it, I think the pros and cons, I think you're going to see a lot more pros there than you think. That's my point.
Your point is noted. And it's another reason why we don't know shit. I don't know shit. Nothing.
You include yourself in that statement.
Yeah, I don't know shit. I was wrong. There's no other way to look at this. All that stuff you said, Jeff, is 100% correct. You got to be able to say, look, Rob didn't hit here, but he hit here. Yeah, that's how it works. Jerry West, I always use this as an example. In 1998, he drafted Sam Jacobson.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people go, who the hell is Sam Jacobson? I go, exactly. 100%, you're right. It took the Luka Doncic trade to really open my eyes to the fact that I don't know shit. And it is what it is. So now I got to comment on it. Now I got to eat shit.
There's no perfect science to drafting.
No, there isn't.
Look how many number one picks end up bad. Look where Joker was picked. Like I said, to sit here, how many times have you thought a player coming out of college was going to be great and he wasn't? And if you were a GM, you would have drafted him. How many guys got picked that you never heard of and turned into stars that you never would have picked? Right? That's my point. My thing with Pelinka is, and I'm not blaming, and I think I used the wrong words when I said this. It was all LeBron. It was not all LeBron. LeBron wanted Westbrook. He wanted a third star there. He saw what KD and them were doing with the 3-star system. Braun wanted back in that. Russ was really the only guy that could work. He had considered DeRozan. The Lakers couldn't make that work. The Sacramento trade Braun didn't like. There were things that were happening there. Braun and AD met with Westbrook. That's a fact. Anyone that challenges that, do your history. Met with Russ and then went to Pelinka. Braun got AD on board, and then they both went to the Lakers and pushed for Westbrook. Where Rob messed up is he didn't tell the stars no. That's where he messed up. And he's got to wear it because he did the deal. And that's probably one of the... Sorry, go ahead.
No, Nick T says they did break up the 2020 team. According to Nick T on the Super Chat, we lost Rondo for Schroeder, who's a losing player, Howard, and McGee for Drummond and Damian Jones. We lost winners for losers.
Okay, that's incorrect. First of all, McGee was on the 2021 team. McGee was booed out of town when they traded him to Cleveland. Secondly, Rondo left because he got an offer that the Lakers couldn't match. We did not break that up. He left for money. It's a fact. Schroeder, they traded for. For who? For Danny Green, who was ran out of town. But that's false information.
Jeff, are you ready for the CP3 discussion, or should we wait that?
Not tonight.
No? Okay.
Yeah. I'm all definitely ready for that.
Okay.
And by the way, Matthew is asking about the dirt poster to my left here. That's basically, I was a video game store manager back in the 2000s, and had access to all the ones that you see behind me. So there you go. Good times.
In the end, with the Westbrook trade, it's always going to be, to me, a overcorrection or a panic move to compete with what ended up happening not too long before then, which was the Harden trade to the Nets.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. My whole point with that includes Pelinka, but it was an organizational overreaction. That's my only point.
None of us are perfect. We got on here for 8 months, at least I did, and I said, what a bunch of dumbasses these guys were. And in the end, there was only one dumbass in the end, and it was me looking in the mirror. What else can I say?
I'm not disagreeing with you on that, Joe.
I know. I was waiting for you. You've been so supportive even on this show.
I am just kidding. Well, if Magic's not here, someone else has got to run you down.
But seriously, honestly, because Magic shit on me for an hour the day Luka got traded to LA. And a lot of that, I've been lying. I keep telling everybody my brain was frozen. No, I deserved it. I deserved all the bullshit. Even though Magic had veered off to something else, I was like, I got to eat shit here. It is what it is. And that
it happens, though. It happens.
And that's fine. And I get that, Jeff. I know. But we live in a world where credibility is kind of not there. When you fuck up, you have to admit you fucked up.
Yeah.
And I got personal, and it bothers me because I think I'm better than that. It sounded personal, even though it necessarily wasn't. I'm sure Rob Pelinka's a good family man, and like I got really fucked up like on that one. Like I really fucking went after Rob and Jeannie, and it was not good. It wasn't good. I'm not very happy with myself about that. And it sucks that I'm now kind of going back on it because of a fucking basketball acquisition. That pisses me off too. Like what? Rob is not a better father or a better husband because of a trade? No. But I'm basing it off of that. But it sounded too personal. And I don't like that it did that.
Your passion spilled over is what it was. And sometimes that'll happen. But it's kind of why like I kind of adopted the like never get too high, never get too low. It's rare. It'll happen. I'm human. But for the most part, I don't, you know, and it's because and the funny thing is, I still hope Guggenheim buys the Lakers. I still hope that happens. And not in a punishment of Jeannie, but just to compete with these other owners. Like is my thing behind it, right? It's not necessarily because you're gonna whatever Boston goes for. You got the Clippers, you got the Warriors, you got the Suns, you got the Jazz, you got Milwaukee, you got all these super billionaire ownership groups, right? I still hope Guggenheim buys the Lakers. I still do. That has not changed for me. But I was never the full anti-Rob guy like most people were to really walk that back. You know what I mean? I never really was. So like for me, and like I said, there's just no way in hell Kobe would keep around a guy for 20 years and make him the godfather of his daughter and be his number one guy in business and his most trusted confidant if he was a douchebag and a waste of space. I just never subscribed to that train of thought. Just never did. And I also knew flat out that the whole quote unquote no one likes Pelinka stuff was BS. I know it was BS. He's done business with a ton of people. And so for me, you know what it is with me? I don't fall for narratives. Never have, never will. And when you see through the narratives and you get past the headlines and you get past the articles and you really understand the point they're trying to get across and get out there, most of it is bullshit. And I just don't do the bullshit, you know? It's kind of really what it is. And so the Rob Pelinka will never be, at least I don't think, ever be a Hall of Fame executive. I mean, shit. I mean, when you think about it, if he stacks up chips, maybe, but I don't think he's that. I don't think he comes from that elk. I don't think he does. But however, he's far from the worst in the league, and he never was the worst in the league. Shit just wasn't lining up. It happens.
Lining up. Yeah, lining up is it's tough in the NBA now, and that was part of the original thought process. In that the fact that they signed this new CBA and this was not possible.
It wasn't supposed to be.
I don't. Come on, man. Let's really get to that for a second here, seriously, before we head out. Luka Doncic is a fucking LA Laker, and I still haven't registered it. Imagine that. It's been 3 weeks now. 3+ weeks. How the hell did this happen, Jeff?
Two guys had a relationship. One guy wanted a player the other team had.
What the fuck is Dallas doing?
Dallas is
about the Lakers.
This is not. Yeah, this is not.
No.
What
are they doing?
They look.
They're not trading it. Like there's no logical reason.
You know what the Mavs are doing? You know what they're doing? They're becoming the Cowboys.
Oh God.
That's what they're doing, Joe. That's what they're doing.
Why would you want to mimic that shitty ass organization? Really?
Yep.
Okay.
They bought it. It's a business to them. It's not what
let me retort to that. Okay. Let's talk about the Cowboys real quick, and so I can make sense in my head. You're Jerry Jones. You buy the team from Tex Schramm in 1988, whatever the fuck it was. At that point, guys, the NFL, you all think you only know the NFL for what it's been the last 10 years. You guys have no fucking idea what the NFL was in the 80s. 90% of the fucking old fogies that owned teams, doesn't matter if it was the Cowboys, the Cleveland Browns, whatever. They were so fucking behind on the times. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Tex Schramm sells the team to Jerry Jones, the only coach in the history of the Dallas Cowboys at that point was Tom Landry. Tom Landry, iconic, fedora, the whole thing, right? You want to talk about image and all that shit. That was the fucking man. They take him out to golf. They fire him on the golf course. That's how ruthless was. That's how ruthless Jerry Jones was. He hires his boy Jimmy Johnson, who he played at Arkansas with back in the day when they won the national title, all that shit. They win 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. Now, back up a little bit. It wasn't Jerry Jones that won the third one, right? So Jerry Jones wins back-to-back championships. I'm talking like, still to this day, the 1992 Dallas Cowboys was the most fucking stacked team I've ever seen in my life on a football field. They win back-to-back championships, and he fucking fires Jimmy Johnson, his guy, the guy that did the Herschel Walker trade, that did all the shit. For what? You know why? Because he didn't get enough credit.
Yep. Jimmy
Jeff,
Johnson was getting too much credit. He was
right?
the bigger star. He was the bigger name. He was the bigger attraction.
Which is hilarious, because if that's not the truth, Jerry Jones was in line with Jimmy Johnson. I remember that time. You couldn't say Jimmy Johnson without Jerry Jones. So what the fuck was going on in Jerry Jones's mind? I'll tell you what was going on with Jerry Jones. He wanted all the credit.
Yep, still does.
Since and I'm only saying 1996 because that's the year it happened. It's technically 1995. Football seasons are weird. When the team wins in 1996 on the calendar, it's actually the 95 season, right? It's the year before, because you constitute the last time they won the Super Bowl, the last time they were in an NFC Championship game, it was 1995 season, even though technically it was in the 96 year. They haven't sniffed the NFC Championship, let alone the Super Bowl, since then. Folks, it's 2025. All because some dumb fuck thought, I want more credit, and I'm going to let go of the biggest asset I have in talent evaluation. Imagine that, guys. This is 30 fucking years. That's 1/3 of a century. And he's still stubborn. Right? What's the point? What's the point in all this? Jeff, where are we getting at here?
That's what Dallas is becoming.
Right?
the Mavs,
so you talked about how the Mavericks are mimicking that.
They don't care about winning.
I'm looking at this from an NBA observer. I'm not looking at this as a Laker fan. As a Laker fan, hey, they keep doing what they're doing, great. Just like as a Steeler fan, keep doing what you're doing, Jerry. But I comment on this as an observer. Forget about my fandom for a second, because that's a fine line always when we talk about sports. It's important to get out of that fandom. We're trying to explain basic common sense here at this point. If Dallas is doing what Jerry Jones is doing, then God help that fan base. Why would that fan base want to do anything to support that team? Now, Jerry Jones, and I'm sure being the businessman he is, knows it doesn't matter. People are addicted to the star. So, Dallas Cowboy fans, it's your fault. You keep going to the games. And I have to say this about my brother-in-law and his wife. Love him to death. But they keep going to those games. Guys, if you keep going to those games, he's going to keep doing what he's doing. It's hilarious. I haven't been to a Laker game in 2 years because of what's happened. And now I want to go to the games. You see how that works, guys?
Yep.
So the Mavericks right now, whatever they're doing with their gambling bullshit, I'm going to go back to my my usual statement on the gambling thing, folks. There's always been gambling in sports. I'm not naive to that, but the fact that it's supported the way it is, this is the result of it. The Dallas Mavericks had no reason not to sign Luka and keep him as the franchise, have a statue for him, and they probably would have had a good chance to win it all. They were very close last year, guys. They were very close. Imagine if they had a couple more players. I just didn't expect Kyrie Irving to turn into a tulip.
He always does against Boston. Always.
Well, folks, I don't believe that's going to happen with LeBron on the team. I don't believe that LeBron and Luka, should they make a run here where it matters and they have a chance, it's not going to happen here. It's just not. Man, we got deep into this shit, didn't we?
How about them Cowboys?
I mean, we're talking about the Cowboys, really? Gerald, you got anything else to say on this?
Oh, I think you pretty much summed it up already, Joe.
Jeff, how you feeling, man? You feeling
okay?
all right?
Good.
You ready to turn it in?
Yep. Yep.
Question is, are you ready to turn it in?
Well, no, I'm not. But I'm gonna do that because I want you guys have lives and you guys have to do stuff in the morning. I'm sorry, guys. I'm wired for the show. I could be here for another 3 hours, but I know not everybody could be here. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. We had a huge crowd for the entire time, and the crowd has been building more and more the last few weeks. And I want to thank you all for being here. You have no idea how much we appreciate you being here. This is freaking 12:30 a.m. on the West Coast. And God knows who's on here on the East Coast, the Central Coast, and the Mountain Coast, whatever. But again, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for being here on the Nightcap. I know a lot of times we have the Nightcap, we have the post game, and we don't have a lot of the pizzazz. But I'm going to let you guys know. I think I've had, 4 shots tonight and about 3 drinks. People like the show, and we're here to give them the show. So thank you for being here tonight. We're going to be back tomorrow, getting ready for hopefully Tuesday's game. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Jeff, I don't know if you...
Special thing, 4:30, I guess, with John Costa.
Yes. Go ahead and
you, I think.
Go ahead and plug that for me, Gerald. I'm slowly realizing that I'm probably going to be the only one that's going to be able to do that. Am I right?
Yes, 4:30 p.m. You and 4 other content creators from the Lakers sphere, as I called it, are going to be getting together. John Costa from Clutch Talk and Lakers Corners getting all this together. He's going to host it. He calls it a Lakers roundtable. And
what happens when the word really gets out, Gerald and Jeff, on us? Seriously. The only reason why we don't have 50,000 people watching this right now is they don't know we're here. And I've watched several Laker shows, guys. All due respect. I fall asleep. We don't do that here, do we? Or is it just me being into our stuff?
Do we fall asleep here? I would hope not, because it's a show.
Right?
So we
come on. I mean,
as far as I know, you guys have made it through the show awake. So.
I've listened to a lot of these Lakers shows, and I'm like sitting there. I'm the guys that have 32,000 subscribers, but then I see only 111 likes. Am I really? Are we, Gerald? Are we really looking for that kind of stuff? Is that what our life has come to?
Yes, growing the audience at this point. Yes. Anyway, legally possible and not underhanded, like buying.
Oh yeah, no,
that stuff.
There's see what I'm saying? See, look, Jay's saying plus 1 more hour, but that's probably just me, right? I mean, come on. Where's Lucky, Jeff? Is he still roaming around?
I think he's out on. I think he's over on the couch that I never sit on. I gotta take him outside.
Did you give him a walk a little bit?
I took him earlier. I gotta take him again right now.
You gonna go out right now?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so guys, y'all love dogs, right? Y'all love dogs. Y'all have dogs. I'm the only one that doesn't have a dog, right? Okay, so folks, we gotta close out the show. For the perros, right? For the perros grandes.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. So with that, Jeff, you know that the invitation's always here. You know the show always gets better with you. Gerald, the best master of ceremonies that you can have on a show, the best crowd, best everyone here with the Lakers Fast Break, especially on the Nightcap. Thank you for being here tonight. If anybody wants to contact me directly, please hit me up on Facebook. If you're a Facebook person, I'm Johnny Blade on Facebook with the with the Dodgers World Order logo. I kind of flipped it on the blue World Order, Gerald. That's what I did. If you want to hit me up on Instagram, that's my business site, sinblades_turf. But if you want to hit me directly on X, you can hit at me at what you see right there. It says at Joe Soro LFB. It's the only one that has my real name on it. I like anonymity online, although I don't think that's possible anymore at this point. But that's what I have on Facebook. So I'm sorry, on Twitter or X or whatever the fuck they call it. Until then, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for being here this morning, wherever you are. Thank you for being here this afternoon. Jeff, thank you for staying up late. Gerald as well. Have a good night. And until next time, we'll see you next time.